We be live. Hello, Durud and Shalom and Namaste and Ola. Hi,
Namaste,
everyone.
Ola, Shalom, Durud. Hello.
Welcome, everyone.
Durud.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
I love the energy. You guys are awesome. It's so much fun. It's so much fun to start the day with you guys. Okay, so we could just get started. So look at this. This video is going viral by CENTCOM. I saw many people referring to this and highlighting this. So and also it based on the captions I've seen, I haven't watched it yet, but it seems like to be matching exactly what I've been hearing from the head of the central bank in Iran. So you know what? Without further ado, well, let's just play it, and you guys could react to it. And guys, hi! I see everybody in the chat. I see the super chats. I see our admins. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for adminning. Funson, Lior, and I see Noha and see Sherry. Okay, we'll get to your comments soon. Okay, but let's just start with this new video that just dropped from CENTCOM, and then we'll go to the chat.
Hi, I'm Admiral Brad Cooper, Commander of U.S. Central Command, here with an operational update on two ongoing missions in the Middle East. Many of our 50,000 U.S. troops operating across the region are doing outstanding work executing the naval blockade against Iran while maintaining commercial traffic flow through the Strait of Hormuz. As recently announced, the U.S. military has achieved a major milestone in the Strait of Hormuz. We have successfully cleared sea mines in the Strait's international shipping lanes that were laid months ago by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Internationally recognized transit routes in the Strait are free of Iranian sea mines thanks to the incredible work of the U.S. military. Let's take a look at exactly what this means. Here's a nautical chart of the Strait of Hormuz and surrounding seas. It's frequently used by mariners around the world and clearly identifies the internationally recognized traffic separation scheme, which you see labeled on the chart as TSS. A traffic separation scheme is a highway system for ships on the ocean. Here on the chart, a dividing line is shown and placed between lanes with opposing traffic directions to keep ships safely apart in the narrow waterway. These are the long-standing lanes international shipping has historically used to transit the Strait of Hormuz. And over the past few months, our forces meticulously and quietly cleared them of sea mine threats using a combination of Navy divers, Navy SEALs, and U.S. air power from the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps. The circumstances were challenging and dangerous to say the least, but we got the job done. Bottom line, today, international shipping lanes are open and momentum is building. Over the past several months, U.S. forces have assisted nearly 1,500 commercial vessels in transiting the Strait by providing coordinated protection. Those ships were carrying nearly 750 million barrels of crude oil destined for global energy markets, which is a massive volume. And while American forces have supported 750 million barrels of crude oil leaving the Gulf, Iran has exported zero oil from its shores since we resumed the naval blockade in mid-July. We have been highly effective. No ships have entered or left an Iranian port without our permission, and we have only allowed ships to pass through on humanitarian grounds, which is a credit to the dedication and professionalism of our sailors, Marines, and airmen in particular, executing this complex mission. Since resuming the blockade, thousands of U.S. service members operating more than 20 warships and hundreds of aircraft have sustained our success, turning around 75 vessels attempting to run the blockade and disabling 3 vessels that did not comply when directed. CENTCOM forces have demonstrated time and time again that we are laser focused on this mission. We remain vigilant, lethal, and resolved. During a recent trip to the region, I saw firsthand how our brave men and women continue to answer the call. I had the privilege to recognize and thank our troops personally for their extraordinary service. We've asked them to stay ready, and that's exactly what they are doing. I just could not be prouder of their efforts, and I know that the American people share that same pride. So to all our service members, keep up the great work, continue to take care of one another, and Godspeed. Thanks so much.
So this is the main screenshot that I want to put it on while we talk about this. This is beautiful. I just want to put it here. I think this is the summary of everything that he just talked about, right? This is a good place
That's
to leave it.
amazing.
Wow. And this is, by the way, guys, when military leaders speak, it's much less bluffing and political than politicians, right? And I could also show you another video later that confirms that this is not bluffing, like this is not an exaggeration. I'll show it to you guys later from inside Iran, from the head of the central bank. That is, he's admitting all of this, so this is not an exaggeration.
I'm just in awe of our military. It's just extraordinary. And you know, the thing is that this, you know, despite the I think the very convincing military victory, the Islamic regime did manage to sort of gum up the works in the Strait, and there's a lot of sort of political damage that they were able to sort of get out of that. But the U.S. is just our military does work hard to do the long game, you know, has the patience and the sort of the organization and the logistics and the teamwork, you know, coordinating all of those different operations, air and sea, and you know, and small teams and big ships, and it's just and they get it done, and I'm just so in awe of that, and I love our military. I'm so inspired by them. I'm so proud of them.
Same. So unfortunately, I'll say this and then I have to go. I hope to be back later. I was able to be here shorter than I expected, but I will say this. In recent months, as Israelis, we saw the difference, the main difference between Israel and America as far as military goes, and there are advantages to each. And so Israel is sort of a MacGyver in, like, there's a lot of improvisation that goes on in Israeli military operations, but America is a well-oiled machine. They don't leave anything to chance, and they do methodical work until they get the job done. We saw it with, it took until the end of February for the army to be ready for Epic Fury, because they really wanted to cross their T's and dot their I's and get everything in order. And even though Trump's rhetoric serves to obfuscate this and like send you in different directions, you don't know what he's on and what he's doing, there is a method to the madness. And I think now we are seeing a lot of the work over the last few months with all, because we were all like, oh, why are they just striking the coast? Why are they just striking the coast? Why aren't they doing more? Well, it turns out striking the coast was the best thing they could have done, because they removed the main card that the Islamic Republic had. And so Trump talks a big game, and he's all over the place as far as the talk, but there is a clear signal you can follow through the noise. In this case, it was, we are removing the last card that the Islamic Republic has, which is the Strait of Hormuz. And I am at awe from what the US has been able to do. And you can see a lot of this is people in recent days say, oh, they're lying and so on. You can see this manifesting, as Armin said, the regime is admitting that people in the regime are admitting the same thing when they have absolutely no interest in doing so. And in the amount of oil, like in the prices, the tracking, it doesn't quite show the same picture, but that's because a lot of those ships turn their trackers off so that they won't be discovered. And so this, I don't know if this is the exact picture. It might be a bit optimistic, but directionally, it's absolutely right in that Hormuz is no longer a problem. And so I'm absolutely at awe by the American Army. God bless the USA. And this methodical operation, and potentially the refusal to go back to kinetic action could turn out to be the absolute best choice, because now whenever kinetic action does happen again, it's going to be much closer to the Iranian people rising, if it even happens at all. I think it will, and I think it should, but the postponements in hindsight were good. I don't know if we needed to go through the MOU in the process. Perhaps that was necessary to provide the time it takes to clear out the to prepare things. I don't know. But But right now, I'm very optimistic about where we are, as long as America doesn't cave. And looking at everything in hindsight, I don't think they will now. Hope to not jinx it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
and with that, I have to go, and
Okay.
hopefully I'll be able to come back later in the stream.
Okay. When do you think you're going to be able to come back?
I don't know. It's sort of
Okay.
played by ear.
All right. Hopefully we'll get Guy back. And guys, remember that Guy's channel is in the description, so show him some love. Check it out and subscribe to his channel. Okay, I will continue live streaming on Guy's channel as well while he's away. And Elisa,
Which is
I'm
good
gonna
because I need the
go
watch
back and
hours
forth. Yes.
to get monetized.
Yes. So guys, please make sure you support Guy. The link is in the description. We're trying to monetize Guy. All right.
Yes,
see you
everybody
soon,
go
Guy.
support Guy.
Yes.
Bye, everyone.
See
See you
later.
soon, Guy.
Bye.
See you
Um,
soon.
Okay, so before we go to Elisa, I just want to mention and see what her takes are, but I just want to announce that we're live streaming on Elisa's channel as well. And you guys could watch on Elisa's channel, so she gets the watch times as well, so she could monetize her channel. And the link to Elisa's channel is also in the description, so please go support Elisa. The link is in the description. And guys, people are watching us right now on Elisa's channel. This is her first live stream, so woohoo!
Woo!
Yay! Yes,
Officially
All right.
live.
Officially live. Congratulations. Okay. All right. So go on. Elisa, do you want to add anything before I add my point?
I don't have too much to add in addition to what Guy said. I'm just I never cease to be impressed by how well Hegseth is running the Department of War. It's a completely different organization under him. It's just really refreshing to see like the military, the most powerful military in the world, run efficiently, do what it does best, which is kill people, break things, run logistics, run circles around, inbred dictators. It's awesome. So I'm happy.
Yeah. So okay. So what I wanted to mention is that what Guy was saying regarding, I hope they're not going to go back to the MOU. And the reason why the United States is right now, as of right now, is showing that they're not interested in the MOU is because the MOU was about the Strait of Hormuz, right? The MOU was mostly about opening the Strait of Hormuz. And the Strait of Hormuz has stopped being a leverage for the Islamic Republic. So the United States is not interested in going back to the MOU because the MOU serves no purpose anymore, right? And this is beautiful because the Islamic Republic thought that their ability to close the Strait of Hormuz is the main pressure that they could put on the United States. And now, if United States if they would be interested in a deal, and I hope they're not interested in a deal, but if to be interested in a deal, it needs to be about the enrichment of the enriched uranium. Because they have moved past it. Again, I'm not in favor of that. I'm in favor of stop talking to them. Don't do any deals with these guys. Just keep, pushing until they fall. But if anybody in the White House is now pushing to put pressure on the Islamic Republic for the sake of the deal, it can't be about the Strait of Hormuz anymore because that problem has mostly been solved. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, this is one of the main points of leverage that the regime had. This is one of the biggest, obviously, right? And this is what I think what led to the MOU in the first place, which was it was embarrassing, at least, it looked that way. This is what I was sort of talking about before. The grip that they had, at least on the narrative, right? At least on the narrative, the grip that they had, the Islamic Republic. It's not something that you could erase overnight. It was not something that you can erase with strikes alone. It had to be this coordinated, meticulous process of building the infrastructure. And I think, it's still quite impressive how quickly it was done, to be honest. But it was still something that required a plan and the execution over time. And this is something that I think that our armed forces are uniquely capable of doing. I don't think that many other armed forces can do this, and that's why I'm so proud.
Sid, just in addition to that, on the MOU, I have maintained for a long time that I think the MOU was always designed to fail. It was a red herring, right? Because what the MOU accomplished is that it got all of the Persian Gulf countries to be united against the Islamic Republic, which is what Trump wanted, right? So it got us more allies, it got us more cooperation in the Persian Gulf, which provides more political pressure, more economic pressure to force this regime into crumbling from the inside out, right? So I defend the MOU on the grounds that it was always meant to be a deflection, a way of luring the IRGC in and then kind of pulling the rug out from under them on the back end.
Well, you might be right. That's the thing, is that I don't know. And you might be right. I mean, I think what your take on it is sort of leaning into the 5D chess. And what I'm saying is that may be true. It may be true. The only point I'm making is that when it came out, it was embarrassing. Whether that was, that was sort of like calculated fallout or not, I can't really speculate. But I thought it was really embarrassing, and it was deeply disappointing at the time. But intentional or not, if it leads to success, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think the thing that clues me into that the MOU was never like serious, at least from the Trump administration, is because the point about the nuclear weapons, which is the number one point that Donald Trump has been hammering, not just since January, but for the past 40 years, that was like bullet point number 7 or 8 or 9. Like, it was deep. So it's like, if this is a serious document, that bullet point about the nuclear weapons would have been number 1, not number 7 or 8 or 9. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, that's a clue that it's like, they're not really being serious. This is to generate further division within the IRGC. This is to get more Persian Gulf countries aligned with our interests, right? So that's why I take it that way. And I personally don't believe in 5D chess. I believe that the Trump administration has an agenda. It's staffed by competent people who know what the agenda is, and they intend to execute that agenda. And they just kind of, they roll with the punches and bob and weave as necessary. But I don't think it's 5D chess. I don't think there's a plan per se. There is an agenda, and there's a difference between having a plan and having an agenda. So they know what goals they're trying to accomplish, and they're going to accomplish those goals by whatever means necessary.
Yeah. So one thing I think is that at the end of the day, for us with limited information, it's really hard to know exactly how much of it was planned and how much of it was not planned. It's really hard to tell, right? But what we can judge is the results. All right. So imagine if it wasn't at all, none of it was planned, and they were just winging it. Okay. But the results ended up being exactly in a way that it was pre-planned. Like, how much do I care if the results are good? Like, I don't care. Like, the results are good. Or imagine if it was all pre-planned and it was very intentional and designed, and it all went to crap. Well, I don't care if it was pre-planned. It all went to crap. Right? So, at the end of the day, the results are what matter, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's what I said, but okay.
Yes. No, I did. I was
You did say.
with
Oh, no,
you.
okay.
We're on the same page. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
we
but
don't have to be on the same page, though. Guys,
No,
guys, don't try to be on the same page. In fact, I think. Let me know, guys. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys appreciate if there's disagreements on the panel, so that the point of the panel is so that our audience gets different perspectives, right?
Yeah.
So it's okay if you don't try to don't think like we want our panelists to agree with the rest of the panelists, right? If there are some level of disagreement, I think our audience would appreciate getting different perspectives, right?
Well, Armin,
my
let me
que-
clarify what I mean by same page. Being on the same page means I understand you. I understand what we're saying. So we're talking about the same thing, and I understand what you're saying, and you understand what I'm saying. It doesn't necessarily mean that we have the exact same opinion.
Right, right. Somebody in the chat is saying, Sam in the chat is saying, I want fights. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so can I just I don't want to harp on this too long, but so I'm curious actually, Elisa, what do you think? I'm thinking back to the MOU, the sort of diplomatic push around the MOU, and I'm thinking about JD Vance in particular. And because JD Vance was involved in the negotiations, and some of the things that he said around it really got under my skin. And it did seem like, even at the time, like even Trump was sort of taking shots at Israel. So what's your take on that? Do you think it's like this? So maybe this is a sort of this is some misdirection, or maybe Vance is expressing something genuine. And maybe there is some genuine frustration, and difference of opinion between the administration and Israel, and so yeah, I don't know, what do you make of that?
So, where do you want me to start? Do you want me to start with Vance first?
Yeah,
Or
start with Vance.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So as far as Vance is concerned, I'm cautiously optimistic about Vance running for 2028, right? As far as his comments, uh when the MOU was being negotiated, because he did say some things that I did not appreciate, like how he made a comment specifically about this is a Persian negotiating tactic, like calling the IRGC Persian. He said something to that effect. Oh, this is what they do, what the Iranians do. It's like, because I'm so accustomed to making that distinction, in this community between the Iranian people and the IRGC. Like, those are two entirely different entities. So I think JD Vance made some really tone deaf comments that were not appreciated by the Iranian people, and I think that was a bad look. So I didn't like that. I don't like how close he is to some of the people on the podcast to stand fear, like Tucker Carlson, for example. I think he's uncomfortably close to Qatari financial interests, so that's a bit of a red flag to me. So it's like, I want to believe the best in him and see the best in him, but the way that he was, but there were some things that he said during his book tour and about the MOU that did concern me. And then
So
there was something else you said, but I can't remember now.
no, so just to clarify the question, right? So what I'm wondering from you in particular is, do you think that JD Vance's communication around the MOU, do you think that was part of the agenda?
It's really hard to tell, because in the moment I felt that Trump was giving JD an opportunity to be a statesman. Like, he was kind of like he stepped back and he pushed JD into the spotlight to see if he would sink and swim on his own. And I don't think that Vance did a good job. I don't think he did a good job as far as the marketing and the messaging, because if you compared JD Vance's statements to Trump's statements, they were not aligned. They did not appear to be on the line. They did not appear to be like they were on the same team. So there was some palace intrigue there, right? So it's like, there's intrigue as far as, is Trump playing the keep your friends close and enemies closer? And does Trump really view himself as aligned with JD, or is Trump also suspicious of JD? Does he have he would have way more information about JD, as far as background info, scuttlebutt, whatever's happening behind the scenes. So Trump would obviously be in the know on that. So does Trump view JD as a friend or foe? I'm not sure. So there's some intrigue as far as that goes. So I don't I don't know. It's really I think we don't have enough information to make heads or tails either
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. So just to clarify my position now, because I agree with your assessment. I think that, like, I'm happy where we're at right now. Okay. And this is extremely good news to me. And I would say, like, from the standpoint of, of our posturing vis-a-vis Iran, I think that Trump has done a good job. Okay. So I give him high marks for that. So then the question is, like, to what degree was this, the agenda or this planned? I think that the Vance stuff in particular made me question, is this like policy, or is this like kind of improvisation? And I don't have the answer. I'm just speculating. I don't have the answer. But that in particular was sort of like one of the signals that made me feel like the agenda is not clear. And so it may be that it was subversion. It's possible that it was subversion, but it's also possible, I feel, that like you're saying, that Vance's foreign policy inputs are just not aligned with mine. And that seems to be, like, more likely the case. And to the degree that he's involved in this portfolio, it's troubling to me. So yeah, I mean, I think that he has been sort of reassigned, which is great, which is great.
Yeah.
And I think that, I think he's a highly intelligent person. I have, like, my suspicions of him, but I don't think that he's an idiot at all. And I don't think that he's, incompetent at all. So he's a fascinating character to me, but at least in his involvement in this really gave me deep concerns.
Yeah,
I
no,
should also say,
Guys,
sorry.
last point, because we have, like, so many super chats.
Okay, sorry.
So-
Just
okay. Finish your point, Sid, and then we'll move on.
okay. Let me just stop there, Lisa. Why don't you go?
I was just going to say that I agree with you about Vance showing weakness. I feel that during the MOU negotiations and during his book tour, I think he did look weak. I think that he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. He did not appear to be aligned with Trump and Rubio, which is concerning. Whether that's plan or agenda, I don't think we'll ever have enough information to say one way or the other. I think we can only speculate on that point.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay, so I do have there are so many people that are saying that this video by CENTCOM is propaganda and it's not true, and I do want to provide some evidence that it is true from inside Iran. But before I do that, let's just do the super chats first, which is it's surprising how many super chats we got. But Sherry was saying 15 minutes in and already a bunch of super chats. Good job, my fellow patriots. Thank you, Sherry, for celebrating
Sherry.
our channel. Yes. And then we got first super chat was from Noah saying, "I'm sad for Norway today. The king has died." Yes, we heard about from Corey from our group discussion, from our group call yesterday, mentioned this. And when he mentioned it, he was just very sick. And now apparently he died. And I didn't know that he was this popular in Norway. Apparently the people in Norway really loved their king. And the colonists saw him as like the grandpa of the country. That's how they, he wasn't at all politically that has zero political power, but it's kind of seen as a symbol of the country. And then Norway's news is like focusing on this right now. And I just want to say, if people from Norway, our thoughts are with you, and sorry to hear about your loss. Yeah, and thank you, Noah, for reminding us about that. Okay, thank you. And then we got Sherry with the super chat saying, "Payday for me, hence payday for you." Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Sherry. Saying, "Armin, please remember to click the like button and join us today for Open Day. It's free." Oh yes, today is Open Day, right? Yes, guys, our group call. Thank you for the reminder, guys. Yes, today is Open Day. That means anybody can join without. It's free. You could join without paying. To our group call. Sid and Elisa, you will be there today, right?
Yes, I think.
Yes, I will be there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so guys, you could come talk to me and Sid and Elisa. We have group calls there every day. Today is
Sherry.
free and Sherry. Yes. What did I say? Didn't I say? Oh, yes.
No, I thought you said Sherry's probably going to be there. Hopefully, Sherry's going to
Oh
be
yeah,
there.
Sherry will be there. Yes. So guys,
I
the
think
link
Sherry
is
will
in the
be.
description.
Yeah.
The link, yes, the link is in the description. The link is in the QR code in the top left. Come talk to us. We have group calls every day, but today it's free. It's free. So thank you.
Woohoo!
Thank you, Sherry, for reminding us. And then Sherry with another super chat saying, love to Sid. I love anyone who likes my hat. LOL. Yeah.
That's
Sherry
not the
is
only
the best hat.
that is not the only reason I love Sherry. So that the hat is I love the hat, but hat or no hat, Sherry's great.
Yes. Yes. And Sherry with another super chat saying, I missed it. I missed the chance of the people. Javicha. We will have those days again, Sherry. I promise you we will have those days again. I promise.
Javid
And
Shah.
thank you for the super chat. Javicha. Oh, thank you. That's sweet. And then Elisheva, thank you so much for the jewels. I appreciate the support. And then Amy saying so many nuances in the Middle East. I have so many questions. Someday when Iran is truly free, we need to have a liberty politics conversation with live panels. Yes,
That's a great idea.
Convention. Sorry, liberty politics convention. That's a great idea. Fantastic. I
Yeah.
love that.
I love that too.
Yeah. Okay. I love that idea. Okay, let's do that.
In
Oh my God,
Tehran.
that's a great idea. In Tehran, yeah. In Tehran and Tel Aviv. Yeah.
At Tel Aviv, yeah.
Yes. You know what? Let's make not that was not my goal, and it is from now on.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Let's put that on the agenda.
Hey, let's go.
Yes. Sherry with a super chat saying, Armin, what is that?
Hibiscus tea.
Hibiscus tea.
Your tea, your hibiscus tea. Where's your tea?
I don't know what hibiscus tea is. I know these are all herbal tea, but I don't know which one is which. It's just like,
I think the red one is more like the hibiscus is usually more red. So maybe that's
no, the red ones are fruit tea. Okay.
Oh.
So the ones that are not red are some type of a herb, and the ones that are red are some type of a fruit, either mango or strawberry or something. I don't know which one is which. But I don't have hibiscus. Maybe I should.
Yeah,
I'll look
you need
into
to
it.
try that.
Thank
You
you,
need
Sherry.
to try that one.
Yeah, I should try that. Leo, thank you so much for the super chat saying, Armin say, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Leo.
Leo, you're going to be in our group today? I hope
Yes,
so.
she will, I think. Yes. Okay, so thank you guys. We're already at 7 super chat. That's crazy. Thank you. I do wanted to quickly provide the evidence from inside Iran that this, what we heard from CENTCOM is not BS. So let me just play just 1 minute of this and translate. Like the fact that we have limitations, there's
Can you hear it? Because I can't hear the video.
I didn't hear it.
Oh yeah, sorry. I forgot to share that. There we go. So this is Hemmati. This is the head of the central bank. The head of the central bank in Iran. Okay? And like the fact that we have limitations, there's no doubt about it. All the countries in our neighborhood right now, they all have limitations right now. Yeah, when we talk to the Qataris, the Iraqis, they also have limitations in exporting their oil.
با هر کدوم از اینا صحبت میکنیم الان تقریبا درآمدهای مثلا قطر، عراق اینا نزدیک صفر شده از
So like when we talk to Qatar and Iraq, their income right now is close to zero right now.
صادرات.
By the way, this is not true about Qatar. Qatar is actually managing to find ways to sell.
و خب ما هم بالاخره این اتفاق افتاده نفت
So and this has happened for us as well.
صادر نمی‌کنیم این که دیگه
And we're not exporting any oil.
واقعیتی.
This is the reality. So this part that they said that the Islamic Republic is not exporting any oil, that part is...
ما پیش‌بینی‌های لازم رو کردیم. اینجوری نیست که ما پیش‌بینی نکرده باشیم.
But we have predicted this from before. Like we have done things from before to prepare for
و
this.
دولت و بانک مرکزی اقدامات لازم رو برای این کار کرد.
And the government and the central bank has prepared for situations like this.
فرق ما با دولت‌های مثل قطر و عراق اینا اینه که اونا ذخایرشون دسترسی دارن بهش ولی ما ذخایرمون هم آمریکایی‌ها مسدود کردن و
Like, but the difference between us and the other countries like Qatar and Iraq is that they have access to the reserves, but the Americans have stopped our access to our reserves. That's the difference between us and them.
اجازه برداشت بهش نمیدن.
یه نکته
And they're not allowing us to. The Americans are not allowing us to use our reserves.
الان یه بله اول گفتیم بله و بعد اشاره کردیم که ما برنامه ریزی کردیم برای
Like, but you said at the beginning that we had programs for this, for situation.
شرایط حالی. یعنی باید ما وضعیتمون بهتر از این می
So shouldn't our conditions should be better than this right now than it is right now,
بود یا نه مناسب
or no, or this is how things are supposed to be.
الان از دیدگاه رئیس بانک مرکزی
اگر منابع ما مسدود نبود میتونستیم دسترسی پیدا کنیم حتما بهتر میشد.
نه با
Like he's saying, our situations would have been better if we had access to our resources, but we don't.
وجود همین با وجود
Can I stop you for
A few more
a second?
seconds.
Okay.
Just a few more seconds,
Okay,
and because I'm not going to play the whole thing.
شاید نه،
برنامه‌ریزی‌های
بهتر
شما.
از اینی که ما اداره کردیم بعید میدونم. ببینید من
Like he's like, yeah, we couldn't. The current situation is the best it could be. There's no way for us to make it better than what we have right now. So yeah, that's the only part that I wanted to play. But go on.
No, so I want to ask because he said that the difference is that other countries have access to their reserves, but we don't have access to our reserves. The Americans are not letting us. Well, what kind of reserves is he talking about?
So I think, again, it's hard to decode what he's saying, right?
Mhm.
But I think he's referring to the 40 million barrels of oil that has already is outside of the blockade that they are not able to sell, right? I mean, because here's the thing. I could show you why I think that.
Okay.
I'm not sure if if that's what he's saying, but now that you ask, let me download another video and share it with you guys. So look at this.
Can I just say while you're looking for that, if this is what
Good.
the IR looks like when they're prepared for the situation, I'd hate to see what they look like when they're unprepared.
Right.
That would be a tragedy.
Yeah, I know. This is why so many regime supporters are like, somebody shut these people up. Like, why are they admitting so much defeat? Like, they're making us look weak. You know, they're confirming that the Americans are right. So this is the minister of oil, the minister of oil, right? So the reporter come to this and they ask him that, hey, the head of the central bank is saying that we can't export, like we're not exporting any oil. Is that true? Look at this.
فروشی رو عملا نداشتیم.
So look at his eyes. He said, like, did he say that we are not selling? Oh, did he say we're not selling any oil? And he was shocked that that was on TV. Look at, you see how
Look
he's
at his
shocked?
eyes. Bugging
He's
out.
like, is that what the head of the central bank said? Look at this. Yeah.
فروشی رو عملا نداشتیم.
He looks
he's
so
asking,
scared.
like, is that what? So he looks like he's like, that's not something we should be admitting. Like, why is he saying that, right? So, and then let's continue.
گفته شد که رئیس بانک مرکزی گفتن که
Like, yeah, that's what he said, the head of the central bank.
ببینید من وارد جزئیات نمیخوام بشم چون به هر حال اطلاعاتی است که اگر این اطلاعات مطرح بشه مورد سوء استفاده دشمن قرار میگیره.
Like he said, listen, I don't want to get into the details because there are certain details that if we say, our enemies will use them against us, right? So he's basically confirming that it's correct, okay? So, right. And then he goes
در
on.
مقاطعی این امکان فراهم شد که ما بتونیم بخشی از نفت رو به نقطه تحویل به مشتری انتقال بدیم. بخش قابل ملاحظه‌ای بود. لذا تا این لحظه‌ای که من خدمت شما هستم فرایند فروش در خارج از حوزه آب‌های سرزمینی ما در آب‌های دور فروش به معنای تحویل به مشتری‌ها خب به هر حال روندی بوده که در طول حداقل فاصله بین دو محاصره که ما رد کردیم نفت خام و بعد از محاصره هم فرایند فروش ادامه داشته تا حدودی
I will tell.
تقلیل پیدا کرده ولی ادامه داشته. انشالله برای ادامه کار هم داریم مجدانه پیگیری میکنیم که تدابیری اتخاذ کنیم.
So this video is recent, like very recent, okay, like yesterday. And he's confirming what I suspected on Ali's show, right? So he's saying, by the way, he said we shouldn't be sharing this, but then he gave everything up. He's saying, listen, when it comes to selling our oil, we managed to get our oil out between the two times that we were under a blockade by the Americans, right? So remember there was a blockade and then the blockade was lifted because the MOU was signed and then the blockade is back on, right? So he's saying that we managed to get our oil out between those two blockades. So I think there's right now, he's not saying that, but I know there's around 40 million barrels outside of the blockade around Malaysia, right? But now something he admitted here, which makes me realize that the situation for them is worse than I thought, because he said when it comes to selling that oil, we have managed to get the part of delivering the oil to our enemy part. That part has been done. So what he's basically saying, sorry, to our customer, right?
Oh, to our customer.
So he's saying that when it comes to selling our oil, the part that is delivering the oil to our customer, a lot of that is happening. What he's meaning is the getting paid part is not happening, right?
Yeah.
So he's admitting that, and he's saying like we are trying to do the other parts as well. So giving the oil to our customer part is happening, basically. Getting paid for it is not happening, which to me suggests two things, which to me, if this is true, the Americans have managed to pull off something that is actually more incredible. That is what's being reported, based on what he's saying. First of all, it means that Scott Bessent has managed to cut off all payment methods for the Islamic Republic. That even when the oil gets delivered to China, there is no way for the payment to get to the Islamic Republic, which is incredible, right? This goes beyond military success. This is a financial success that shows how influential the U.S. is when it comes to, their dominance over global financial tools and mechanisms, right? That's one. Two, if this is true, if what this man is saying true, it means that the United States has gotten the best of both worlds. The oil is getting into the market to some extent, right? But the Islamic Republic is not getting paid for it, because I thought there's only two situations. Either the Islamic Republic is not going to get paid for their oil, which means oil prices will go up. The benefit of that is that the Islamic Republic is getting paid, not getting paid, but the cost is that oil is not going into the market, which means oil prices will go up. Or the other side is that the Islamic Republic's oil is getting in the market and they're getting paid, which the benefit of that is that, well, the oil is being supplied, so oil prices will go down. But the cost of that was that the Islamic Republic is getting paid. But for some reason, if this guy, what he's saying is true, the United States has managed to find a way for the oil to make it into the market, reducing oil prices, but at the same time, the Islamic Republic is not getting paid, which is incredible if true.
I think that is the case. Like that, the evidence points towards that, doesn't it?
I mean, that's evident. He's saying it. This is the oil minister of the Islamic Republic. So if this is according to him, it's true at least.
So, so there was something I think before the MOU, right? When so it's sort of like pre-MOU, but blockade time, where there was some analysis I remember seeing about how the Islamic Republic is in a bind because they have to keep pumping, but they don't have a place to store, right? So they're running out of storage. But if they stop pumping, then those wells can never be as productive as they are today, right? Do you remember this, Armin?
Yes. So you're talking about the getting overwhelmed with how much, not having a place to put the oil and stuff.
Not having a place to put the oil, right? So that basically their storage is running out. Right. And if they close the well, then when they reopen it, it will never be as productive. So this was this was the crunch that was described, right? So like, are they going to have to shut the wells down? And if they do, that is going to have a massive long-term consequence for them, right? So then there was on top of that, there was speculation that, okay, well, what they're doing is, I heard something that maybe they're dumping some of it. And then I heard rumors also that they're filling up tankers that are just sitting there. Okay. Then there's the MOU. Then like, okay, they got some of the oil out, right? But I'm still wondering like what's going on with that. And what it reminds me is that the possibility that they have to export the oil even if they don't get paid in order to protect their wells.
Yes. Because there's nowhere to put the oil.
Yeah. So even when
So
Cooper
so
is,
China is being used as a store. China using and burn. So you're saying that they have to give it to China even if they're not getting paid because they have nowhere to put the oil.
yes, yes, in order to protect their long-term, in order to protect the long-term viability of their wells, in a sense, they
Yes.
have to give the oil away for free, which is forcing the price down.
Yes.
Now,
That's
if that's happening,
amazing.
this is brilliant. This is genius stuff. If that is
Yeah.
happening.
Wow.
But
That
what's
is
interesting to me is the only thing that I'm curious about is if that's going on is because Cooper said there's zero Iranian oil barrels coming out, right?
Oh, yeah. So it's, yes, but there's 40 million barrels sitting there around Malaysia that came out before, right? So nothing is going through the blockade, like 0 barrels are going through the blockade, right? But remember, the blockade was removed for a while, right?
No, I know, but what I'm saying is now, right? So now, like, is the situation? They're saying 0 barrels, but maybe they're saying what they really mean is 0 paid barrels.
No, 0 barrels are going through. So
Okay.
there's the oil barrels are piling up right now in the Persian Gulf. There's also 40, I think there's 40 million barrels sitting outside that the China is bringing in at the rate of around 200,000 a day, right?
Okay.
And there's 40 million in the like around 40 million stuck in the Persian Gulf area that can't make it out right now.
Okay.
Right.
So possibly then Iran the Islamic Republic is forced to give away their oil so that they can have the tankers back, the empty tankers back, so that they can have more storage.
More storage, yes.
Yeah. So there may be some desperation on that part, which is just like, okay, we actually can't wait around to be paid.
They're also trying desperately to put the oil barrels on railroad and ship it to different places by land routes, but that is so hard to do because
the bandwidth is too small.
Yeah. The bandwidth is small. Yes. We did get a super chat by PJ. Thank you so much, PJ. PJ is saying, I see the group growing, more to fight for the people of Iran. Yes.
Thank you, PJ.
Guys, these
Absolutely.
are liberty politics is the place where we recruit warriors for liberty. That's what liberty politics is about, right? So Sid and Elisa are warriors for liberty, and that's the point of liberty politics, right?
We are patriots and sovereigntists.
Yes. And what?
Sovereigntists.
I like that. I love that. It's fantastic. That's beautiful. Thank you, PJ. Thank you for the support. That's very kind. I do want to mention Elisa's channel right now. 25 people are watching on Elisa's channel. Her channel is called Between Capitals. So
thank you, everyone.
That's great. So guys, again, if you want to watch our show from Elisa's channel, the link is in the description. Okay. And make sure when you're there, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Tarun, thank you so much for the super chat saying, I'm happy to see you there, you three again. Oh, thank you, Tarun. That's very
sweet.
Thanks for watching, Tarun.
Thank you, Tarun. I appreciate you being here, Tarun. All right. So now that we saw all of these amazing things being achieved by the Americans, let's look at someone else's perspective, Thomas Massey. Sid, do you want to read this?
Do we have to?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thomas Massey, today we have been at war with Iran for 6 months. The 1973 War Powers Act required Trump to withdraw forces within 90 days absent authorization from Congress. They ridiculously claim to stop the war and restart new hostilities at 91 days. We are past 180 days. End the war.
Can I say something? Somebody else pointed this out months ago, and I thought it was a superb observation. In my lifetime, every war that the U.S. has participated in, the neocons, the neoliberals, all the establishment politicians have been like, "Woo, go war!" Right? This war, the first moral war that the U.S. has fought in my lifetime, all of the usual suspects, the establishment people, are screaming bloody murder with their heads on fire. They're like, end the war, end the war. After 6 months versus 20 years fucking around in Afghanistan and Iraq. One of these things is not like the other.
Well,
Yeah. Go ahead,
they
Armin.
say they're being consistent. They say they have been against war before as well. No, don't they say that?
Well,
That-
I think in
Go ahead.
Massey's case, it's probably true. So because he comes from that sort of like Ron Paul, non-interventionist libertarian wing. So I think that he is he probably is sort of principally opposed to foreign engagement. But I think also like to me he's obsessed with Israel. And that's a bad sign right there. So like it's hard for me to take him seriously. Like I can understand a sort of a principled opposition to foreign engagement, even though I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it, but I can understand it. I can understand that. But to me, I feel like in some of the stuff that Massey's been saying over the last few years, it seems like he's more obsessed with Israel than he is committed to his own principles.
I disagree that he's principled. I don't think that Massey is principled at all. If you look at his voting record, he sided with the Democrats more than he has with MAGA Republicans. So I don't think he has principles. I think that he's chasing dollar signs, just like Tucker Carlson and the rest of the people in his circle.
Okay, so just to be clear, I'm saying exactly that I don't think he's principled.
I thought you said the opposite.
I'm saying that like I can understand somebody having a principled opposition to foreign engagement, even if I don't agree with it. But in Massey's case, I'm very suspicious about his principles. So anyway, go ahead.
Right. Yeah. No, that's all I got for now.
So I do want to mention that like he's saying the 1973 War Powers Act. It's important to remind people that the War Powers resolution is against the Constitution, right?
Yes.
So because it restricts the presidential commander-in-chief authorities explicitly granted in Article 2 of the Constitution, right? So there's an automatic 60-day troop withdrawal clock that is unconstitutional because it terminates the executive military deployment based on congressional silence. So let me read this. Section 5C's concurrent resolution mechanism represents an unconstitutional legislative veto invalidated by INS versus Chadha on June 23, 1983. Legal authority between branches cannot be modified through ordinary legislation without a formal constitutional amendment. Every presidential administration since November 1973 has maintained that the core mandates of the resolution are unconstitutional overreaches. So, and in every single administration has posted that both has had that position, both Democrat and Republican. So there's that.
Yeah, so it's irrelevant for him to bring it up in the first place. Like, this is my frustration with Massey. It's like all he does is just grandstand. It's like he has done a more moral grandstanding under Trump's terms than he ever did under Biden's term. Like, that's how you know he's fake. Just everything he does. It's just he's not principled. He doesn't care. He's just another swamp creature, just like the rest of them. He annoys me.
I don't think he has solutions. I think exactly what Elisa's saying. He's just grandstanding. You know, this is what he's doing now. He's playing to his audience. I mean, there's no real solutions here. There's no interest in solutions.
Exactly.
Speaking of people like that. Okay, let's go to another one like that. This is Hassanabi, Hassan Piker. He has another take that we want to respond to. Sid, do you want to read this one?
In 3 years, we went from do you condemn Hamas, do you condemn Hassan, and Israel is still a belligerent entity that is causing destruction, goading Trump into war with Iran, and prominent Dems are focusing on a critic of Trump and Israel instead of Trump and Israel itself. Fools.
Sounds to me like his critics are right over the target. Because Hassan and Hamas are one and the same. Same thing, right?
I mean, he supported Hamas, so people who are supporting Hassan Piker should be asked if they are attacking. I mean, it's the same principle. I don't see what the problem here.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
the way that the way that he positions himself, and he positions pretty much anyone in this camp, is that Israel is so bad that any criticism of Israel, no matter how dishonest, has to be tolerated. Okay, we have to make an exception. So I can say whatever I want. I can promote and I can defend any anti-Israel group, no matter how savage, no matter how barbaric, no matter how theocratic, no matter how sociopathic. I can do that, and you should allow me to do that, and you should defend me doing it, because that's how bad Israel is. Okay, that's what he's doing here. He is basically saying, look, I am a critic of Israel, and Israel is the bad guy. So no matter what I do, you should be on my side. And that only works because he and so many others have this obsession with Israel, where they never compare Israel to anybody else. You know, Israel's crimes are compared to some utopia. That's the way that he does it. Look at what Israel's doing, and look at what my fantasy country that never does anything is doing, right? And clearly Israel is killing more people than my fantasy. So that means Israel is the worst, and then anything I say about Israel is beyond any criticism. So the whole logic is absurd, but he gets away with it.
Well, this goes back to since I've joined this community, I've learned so much about, you know, the Palestine revolution and sort of the history there with you know, pro-Zionism versus anti-Zionism. Like, you guys have educated me a lot. And Hassan, you know, he's an anchor baby, a nepo baby, and he's a subversive operative, and he's an unapologetic communist. So it's like, you know, supporting Hamas and Hezbollah and supporting the Palestinian movement. This is all on brand for a subversive communist. So, you know, I'm just at the point where I just not to say that I agreed with him before, because I always thought that he was a loser and just a miserable just piece of garbage, and I want him out of my country. But I mean, you could just safely disregard everything that this guy says. Like, nothing that comes out of his mouth is principled or genuine or anything of the sort. I just want him to get the hell off American soil. Just go back to the garbage hole you came from.
Or go to China, because he's already stated that he likes China. That's
right.
That's the model of government that he supports, that he has no patriotic bone in his body. Right. So it seems like a great opportunity, you know, for him. I don't think China wants him, to be honest. I think that China is very happy for him to be causing problems here.
I do like this post, though. I do like it, because to me, this suggests that he's realizing that he has been a net negative for Abdul, and that he is Abdul Sayyid Achilles' heel. He's his kryptonite. That the fact that he supported Abdul is one of the best ways, and the fact that Abdul Sayyid accepted his support is one of the main things that people are going after him for. And people are showing, whether Abdul Sayyid wins or not, it demonstrates that Hassan Piker has been a net negative for his campaign rather than a net positive. And Hassan Piker is realizing that he can't be involved in mainstream politics
Yeah.
if it gets demonstrated that his support for any politicians, including DSA politicians, hurts them more than helps them. So, and if more, even if DSA politicians, as toxic as they are, if they realize that Hassan Piker is even more toxic and him supporting them is not going to help them, they're going to push him aside and he's desperately trying to not just be a streamer and actually enter into politics. And if they realize that he doesn't help and hurts more, then he's not going to be able to do that. And that's what this post demonstrates, that he's realizing that he's a net negative for his campaign. Does that make sense?
I actually love all of this. For the first time in his entire Nepo baby life, he is doing something useful, and he is crippling the Democrat Party's chances of winning the House and the Senate. So well done. Scored an own goal there. I love that. And we as patriots should all do our part to remind people that Hassan Piker is the official spokesman for the Democrat Party. Everything he says, they believe. And anybody who denies it is lying. They are lying to you.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
A great point.
True.
Yeah. Don't let them run away from Hassan. Don't let them do it.
Yes.
I think in that regard, Elisa is totally right. We and Hassan Piker are aligned on this, right? We are absolutely aligned. We want the Democratic Party to embrace him and to own everything fucked up that he said.
Yes. Hold on. But this is why I think it's, people are like, oh my God, we don't like Hassan Piker. I think Hassan Piker, we should use Hassan Piker. I think Hassan Piker and the fact that DSA candidates took pictures with him and embraced him and supported him, for us is a huge benefit. And we shouldn't let them get away with this. And now, like Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and Abdul Sayed, the fact that they embraced him, celebrated him, took pictures with him, and also Bernie Sanders. I mean, Hassan Piker has supported terrorism, right? So the fact that all of these people embraced Hassan Piker and the fact that his record is so dark means that we got him. Like, and we shouldn't let them get away with this. We should keep chasing them and hit them over the head with this forever.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's important also to point out, okay, that Piker has been saying this stuff for a long time. Okay, all the different meetings and different appearances that he's had with candidates and with people involved in politics, and all the fawning interviews in the New York Times, right? And the Ezra Klein glazing op-eds, all of that stuff has happened since he said extremely anti-American, pro-terrorist things. Okay, so the attempt, the hope was, okay, can we transition this guy because he has an audience? Can we transition to him? Can we bring his audience with us? Can we turn that into electoral success? And at the moment right now, it's looking like a liability.
Who's a liability? Who's a liability? Are we still talking about Hassan?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was reading chat.
Yeah. I know this is the problem you're gonna experience, Elisa. When you got people in your chat, now you have to pay attention to your chat, but also pay attention to the panel. It's difficult.
I'm sure it's a skill I'll learn over time to listen and read chat at the same time. The chat is so much fun too.
Yeah, it is fun.
No, on Ali's stream, sometimes people think I'm falling asleep because I didn't notice something Ali said. I haven't fallen asleep. I'm managing the chat at the same time, so that's what's happening. So, yes,
right? You guys are distracting me.
No, it's good. It's a good thing to be distracted. We need to pay attention to the chat. Terun, thank you so much for the super chat. Say, can I be a warrior for liberty too? Of course. Yes, for sure.
Tarun, you already are. When you support us,
yes,
that's what you're doing.
You're
helping us to get more reach. So you're already doing your part, and we really appreciate it.
Heck yeah, you're
Yes.
in the fight, buddy.
Yes, you
Thanks
are.
for being here.
Thank you, Tarun. And Tarun with another super chat saying, so what are we talking about today about a lot? Well, I mean, we're talking about Hassan Piker and his support for the DSA candidates and how it's hurting them. And then Tarun with another super chat saying, you need to include jokers like Piker, not criticize them.
Ignore.
I completely disagree, Tarun.
You need to ignore.
ignore.
So, yeah. Mhm.
He's saying you need to ignore jokers like Hassan Piker, not criticize them. I don't think so. I think actually him being so damaging to the DSA means that we should be paying attention to him because he's helping us.
Yeah, I would just say that there is a point to what Tarun is saying. Like, I feel like Mamdani has sort of benefited from disproportionate attention. So Piker is a different story because Piker is kind of a shock jock, and he has so many, like his streams they're just so chock full of very sort of, I think, like self-incriminating content. Mamdani does have self-incriminating posts and so on in the past, but he's less abrasive. And so I think that he's more effective at leveraging the negative attention, very much in the Trump model. Like Trump knows how to leverage negative attention, and I think some clever politicians are like figuring that out. But I think in Piker's case, the sunlight is actually hurting him.
Yeah. So the thing, this is a very unique midterm election cycle because Republicans are uniquely positioned to perform a lot better than they have a right to, because you have Republicans like Mike Rogers in Michigan, who is running a smart campaign, and he has an advantage because if you look at the primary results for Abdul al-Sayed in Michigan, the counties he won were the white affluent counties, and then the counties he lost, and this is very important, is because he was a public health administrator in the Detroit area, which is Wayne County, I believe. He lost that area by 30 points to white women. And Detroit is like the blackest country in America. It's like 96% black, right? And you have to remember his platform, he's running as a man of the people, right? So this Nepo baby who calls himself a man of the people, who claims to be fighting for the working class, who's the district that he was a public health administrator in is a working class district, right? Which is 95% black. He lost that district to not one, but two white women. Black people voted for white women over Abdul Sayed by 30 points, which is a shellacking. And Mike Rogers, again, he's running a smart campaign. He's using that as fuel for his campaign. So while we still have to worry about the establishment Republicans doing what they always do, which is snatching a defeat from the jaws of victory, you still have other Republicans like Mike Rogers, like Ken Paxton, who are running smart campaigns and who are going to do everything that they can to make sure that that they win the Senate and the House for Trump.
Just in case he said Piker, I called Piker a shock jock. In case he said Piker is a dog shock jock. I love that.
Oh, did you guys see that? If you Google who's the guy that shocks dogs, Hassan Piker comes up as the first Google result.
Wait, so Tarun is saying hatred gives him power and attention too.
We want him to have attention, Tarun. Yeah.
Okay. Not responding to the people that are he's already influential, so ignoring him actually, people on our side ignoring what he can do is actually not helpful in my opinion. People like this don't go away because people like us decide to ignore them, so that's not true in my opinion, right? And then we got another super chat by Shay saying, Armin, can we review Jesse Waters' interview with Abdul al-Sayed, please? Jesse was so weak, basically ended up giving him a platform to spree his BS. Sid, you were happy that we stopped finishing this, like, but Shay is
No,
saying go back to finishing.
No, I'm not sure if Shay even knows that we did that, because it looks like he's saying, like, it looks like he's saying, can we review? So we did, Shay. I don't know if you knew
Well,
that.
we didn't finish it. We didn't even go halfway because you guys were so frustrated.
It's true that we didn't, but we did give it a lot of time, and we did also conclude with Shay that Jesse was weak, and basically ended up giving him a platform to spree his BS. So I think that our analysis was extremely similar to Shay's here, and it was a very frustrating watch. We spent a good chunk of 2 episodes on it. It was not pleasant. I was really disappointed in Jesse Waters' performance there.
Yeah, I think most of us agreed with you, Shay. We did review it, but go on, Elisa.
Right. And I think we moved on because I think it just wasn't timely anymore. Because I assumed that we were just going to try and get through the whole video or as much of it as possible. But I do think that we reviewed enough to kind of make our point.
Okay. Yes. But we came to the same conclusion as you, Shay. 100%. And thank you for the super chat. Tarun is saying you should learn who Rahul Gandhi, the Mamdani or Biden of India, and Dhruv Rathi, the Piker of India. Who are these people? Okay, I'll try to remember them in case they come up.
Rahul Gandhi, I do know him. So yeah, he's the sort of the heir to the Gandhi name. Not Mahatma Gandhi, but he was sort of related to Indira Gandhi, which she was former Prime Minister of India, and her son also was a former Prime Minister, Rajiv. So Rahul is the grandson of Indira, and he has been on the scene for a long time, like as a sort of trying to be a political leader, but he's been pretty much of a failure. And but yeah, I mean, I actually don't know that much about. I didn't know that he was called the Mamdani or Biden of India, but I'll have to look into that more. I don't know who Dhruv Rathi is, so yeah, we'll check it out. Thank you, Tarun.
Okay. This is for you, Sid. So you want to read this?
Okay, Effie8513. Thank you so much for your support. Just when I was wondering how long Piker has been on the scene, Sid answered. He reads minds. Okay.
Well, he's been on the scene for a while, right?
Yeah, he has been. I mean, so he was
10-ish years, if not longer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think something like that. I mean, he was kind of a content creator for the Young Turks for some time, but not really doing political stuff, just kind of doing sort of, I guess, an attempt at sort of comedy, but it was pretty sort of like fratty comedy. And then he started doing Twitch streams where he played video games. It was mostly like playing video games and just mouthing off about like politics in a very sort of performative left-wing gamer bro politics, and that really took off, and over time he's leaned more and more into politics, and has become influential as a political commentator.
Yep.
Right. Okay, you have this video I want to watch, but before, Casey with a super chat saying, Sayed equates circumcision to gender mutual. Wait, is that?
Mutilation?
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to say mutilation. But
Yeah,
it
I
says
think that's the
mutilization.
Yeah, mutilation, gender mutilation. To be, I mean, I don't know why he's saying it. He's a Muslim. I'm against circumcision of both male and female, in my opinion. I think both of them are wrong. And I think that if you want to circumcise, you should be able to make that decision yourself as an adult. I don't think parents should make that decision for you before you have a chance to make that decision, right? But I don't know why Sayed would be saying that. He's a Muslim.
Well, no, I mean, so I understand your position, and I know other people who hold that position. I think it's a very defensible position. But what is not defensible is equating a circumcision, okay, a male circumcision with castration, and that's what he was trying to do. That's what
castration.
That's what
Oh my
Syed
God.
was trying to do. He was trying to make that. He said, "Look, okay, you know, you don't have a problem with circumcision? Circumcision, okay?" So he was playing that game where it's just like, okay, like it's up to the parents, like the parents and the doctors, and that they should decide. Why is it your business? You know, and I think that actually that's really, really disingenuous. So that's what Casey is talking about, and I totally agree with Casey. That these are not, you know, there's a debate to be had about male circumcision. You know, there's a debate, and I think that Armin wants to have the debate, and I think that's, you know, it is a good debate to have. But it's just it's a false equivalency, 100% a false equivalency.
You can't be Jewish and uncircumcised, right? Like that's kind of part of the tradition.
Yeah, it is part of the tradition, and also Muslim. Also Muslim.
Okay.
Yeah, Muslim. That's what I don't get. He's Muslim. Yeah. That's part of like it's Islamic law that you need to do that.
No, but this is the point. This is the point, Armin. He wasn't saying he's against circumcision. What he was saying is that circumcision and castration are similar acts.
How?
That's what he was basically saying. This is something that is decided internally with families and doctors and so on. As he was saying, because the criticism was, "Hey, you are defending, you know, gender affirming care or whatever, right? Which includes mutilation, which includes castration, as an example, or like the removal of healthy tissue." He was basically saying, look, this is something that should be decided by families and their doctors, just like circumcision. He was basically saying, like, you know, if you don't have a problem with circumcision, you shouldn't have a problem with this. And I think that actually that it's a huge difference. There's a vast
this being
difference
the wait, what's the other thing that you shouldn't have a problem with? What's he comparing it to?
So okay, so to gender, and now I get it. To gender affirming care.
Yes.
So that's
what?
Yes.
Oh my God, those are so wildly different things.
No,
okay,
exactly.
now
okay.
Now
now I understand it as well. So like as somebody who's against circumcision before somebody being an adult, I like cutting at the top is completely different from cutting the whole thing with the balls and everything. Like, that is like obviously not the same thing. Jesus Christ, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like for example, here's the way I see it. So I'm against you know, what did the natives did when they cut off the skin off of your head? What is that called?
Scalping?
Yes, scalping. I'm against doing that to anybody, okay? But that is not the same thing as beheading somebody, okay? That's what is right. So as much as I'm against scalping, I think beheading somebody is far, far worse than scalping somebody. There we go.
Yeah.
But I think scalping also resulted in death.
Most likely, because you would
but beheading always results in death. Scalping sometimes results in death.
Does it? I really thought scalping was something that they did to dead people. So is a sort of a trophy. Okay. But anyway, let's say you are Sikh. Okay. You're Sikh and you're against haircuts. Okay. You're against haircuts. And someone says, okay, well, you know, like, okay, you know, well, you know, there's haircuts, there's beheading. It's kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say circumcision is not like haircut because that does harm people. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, no, but the thing about and I don't really want to go into it because I have some sympathy for your position, Armin. But yes. What I'm saying is that men have been boys, okay, children have been circumcised for millennia,
thousands.
Yes. Okay, and what you can say is that many circumcised men have led productive, healthy lives and been able to reproduce.
Children.
So it's just to compare the consequences of these two things is extremely dishonest.
That's exactly the point that I was going to make, is that like circumcised men can still like experience sexual gratification and have children and live productive, healthy lives. Whereas if you gender affirming care castrates you and you can't experience any of those things.
Yes.
So like there's zero.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know why we're debating that these are different. Like, isn't it obvious? Like, you know,
it should be obvious, but that's exactly
different. Yeah, so cutting someone's balls are not the same as not cutting them. Like, what the hell are we even talking about?
Yeah, well, that's the defense that he tried to make.
Right. Okay.
Oh, that's why we're talking about it,
That's
because
why we're
El
talking
Sayed brought
about it.
that up as a point.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
I have to see the actual comment because that's insane.
yeah. It was
Um,
from the Jesse Waters interview. We just didn't get to that part.
Oh, we didn't get to that part. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We should. This is why I think we should have finished it, but you guys didn't want to. Amy with the super chat saying, "I will send you a clip. It was hilarious. He called it a dingaling, and he calls himself a doctor. It was epic." Okay, yes.
No,
that's
but
it.
can I say something, because I saw that clip?
Yes.
Okay, I saw the clip before we even reviewed the interview ourselves. And I saw that clip, and I was frustrated with Waters' response too, because I don't think he ever made the point. At least in the clip that I saw, I don't think he ever made the point. You know, that we're talking about, that these things are like it's a false equivalency. So I mean, he did kind of say it, but it just wasn't a very focused. It wasn't a very focused attack on what I think was just a ridiculous statement from Sayed.
And then thank you, Amy. Yes, that would be. I want to see that. Zip gun with a super chat saying, "FYI, scalping and beheading are deadly." I mean, I know beheading is deadly. I mean, that's yes. But thank you, Zip gun. Okay, thank you. Good to know. Good to know. All right, so I want to watch this clip. This is going viral. And what's his name? There was this guy who responded to it, Mehdi Hassan. Okay, so let's and his response went viral as well. So let's watch it first. Elisa, are you here? I want to make sure you don't miss this. Are you hearing this? Okay, let me just play it. Hopefully, Elisa is hearing it, even if she's away.
And that is not what. Well, I'm just curious when you say this isn't what I thought winning would look like.
Yeah, winning looks
What did you think it would look like?
Scott. Winning looks like no new wars like Trump.
Let me let Josh respond.
Just that, I'm curious.
Before we started this war, the only thing that was in between us and what we wanted was Iran not having nuclear weapons with a set of successful negotiations. That is what is between us and them not having nuclear weapons.
No, we don't need successful
before we start. But yeah, we do. They're in the Strait of Hormuz was not closed before this war started. Like Abby said, 170 oil tankers were going through there every single day. Yes, why are only 10 going through, Scott? And listen,
we have escorted 750 million barrels of oil through the Strait.
I do want you to actually answer that question, because this is just emblematic of like a broader glossing over of reality. If you're claiming the Strait of Hormuz is open, why are there only 10 tankers coming through the strait now?
Well, first of all, I'm not claiming it. Brad Cooper, the commander of CENTCOM,
sure,
is talking
if
about
you
it.
And the administration, the president is also claiming it. Why?
And the Islamic Republic, and the price of oil, and the current price of oil.
Why are there only 10 tankers coming out of the strait right now?
Well,
10 tankers with their transponders on. Hold on. 10 tankers with their transponders on are being seen. Okay, you're not talking about the ones that you can see because the transponders are off. Okay,
and she's glossing over the, what was it, 775 million barrels? 75 million barrels of oil? Yeah.
Wait, was it? Yeah, let me see the number. Yeah, she's glossing over that. She's saying that's a lie, because other people are reporting other numbers. But you saw that the regime is admitting that. And you guys, at the end of the day, the price of oil is below 90. So something is getting through. The price of oil is being, like, the market doesn't lie. The market is telling you that the balance between supply and demand, right? So you could tell by the price of oil.
There's tankers going through at the escort of the United States Navy. 750 million barrels of oil.
I know, but you're not.
There you go. There's your answer, Elisa. 750 million.
Not answering my question. It used to be 110 a day. Now it's 10.
We don't need as many to go through right now.
We don't need that. So tell that to the American people who are paying record high gas prices for August.
It is a small fraction of what it was before. Is that not emblematic of a Strait of Hormuz that is not?
I'll give you a strategic reason why ultimately it doesn't.
You're not seeing all the ones that are going through. That's the whole point of the escort, to put the transponders off, to make them go through without the Islamic Republic being able to see them. That was the whole point of bombing southern Iran, destroying all the radars, for nobody to be able to see them, including the Islamic Republic.
Because
but also that was the point of Operation or Project Freedom, the Navy escorting the tankers through the straits.
Yeah, but she's counting the ones that can be seen, not knowing that there's more going through.
It doesn't matter, because,
or if she knows, she doesn't care.
How to move oil.
Yeah, maybe
out of the region.
So then why haven't gas prices gone down, Scott? You just
Gas prices have gone down. What do you mean gas prices haven't gone down? Like oil prices. Okay, so if you're talking about gas prices in the U.S., gas prices in the U.S. are higher in Democratic states. So you should be answering to that. Why gas prices are higher in Democrat-run states compared to the non-Democrat-run states, right? But oil prices are down. Oil prices are significantly lower than where anybody thought they would be if the Islamic Republic, if we had this much tension around the Strait of Hormuz.
Said it doesn't matter.
By the way, she's asking questions and she's not even letting him respond.
So we have figured out how to
Yeah,
move
typical.
oil out of the region, not entirely through the Strait of Hormuz is number one. And so we have basically taken away the strategic advantage of being able to close.
But gas prices are still elevated in this country as a result of the war.
Yeah.
So what you're saying and
they
the
will eventually
reality
come
that
down.
Americans are living with are not the same thing.
They're eventually going to come down, just like Trump said this war would only last 4 to 5 weeks, and now it's dragged on for nearly 7 months.
And all of this is happening at the same time that we produce enough oil to make ourselves energy independent.
Okay,
Scott, that's
apart
not
from
the,
what's
gas,
happening in the Middle East.
the point is that Iran is in.
This is such a small price to pay for stopping the gas prices are not at all as high as what the Islamic Republic were hoping they would be if they did what they did, right? And the amount that they have gone up, it's such a small price to pay compared to what the United States assume that they have to pay to stop the Islamic Republic from getting a nuclear weapon.
What was the peak of what was the gas price peak under the last administration?
Thank you, because when I was in Arizona at the time, and before I got stationed overseas, but when I was in Arizona, it was in 460 something, and it was $60 or a little over $60 for me to fill up my tank in Arizona. And then before the war, I'm in Texas, so gas was like, for me, because I always go to Sam's Club to fill up, so it was like $2.20, $2.22, $2.24, so it was about $30 for me to fill up my tank. And now it's over $3. I think the last time I went, it was like $3.16 or $3.20, something like that. And so it was like $45, something like that for me to fill up. So all of that to say that, again, like, America is a very affluent country. Yeah, I definitely prefer spending $30 instead of $45. That's still better than the $60 that I was paying under Biden. So yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just looking. So the price of Brent crude in May of 2022 was $125.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it looks like there was a moment in April where it did get to that price too.
Yeah, average under Biden was 501. Average right now is 3.5 something.
Yeah, so I mean, so this is a political football. I mean, I'm not going to dispute that, like, I want low energy prices. I want that. And I think it is important, right? And obviously our policy should pursue that. We have to balance different priorities. Right? So I think if we can deal with DIR, it's going to result in much lower energy prices. I think that as a long-term goal, it's worth it. It's worth it because they cause so many problems for us and for regional stability. And I think the Islamic Republic is a leech. It's a incredibly energy-rich territory that's being squandered and put into disruption and terrorism and so on, right? So I don't dispute that, but I don't think they fucking care. On the panel, I don't think they care about energy prices. I don't.
Certainly not. No.
Okay. What they care is scoring political points. None of their policies, none of their pet policies are deflationary when it comes to energy. None of them.
That's a great point. They're just using. They have nothing else to attack with other than the thing that they are actually responsible for themselves.
Yeah, it's just, we care now because it makes Trump look bad, but we don't care. I mean, if this was for climate change or whatever, they'd be saying, look, we all have to eat it. You know,
yeah,
we all have to accept higher prices because of climate change. You know, like if that's the case, they will do it. It's just it doesn't matter. It's just even if today Trump said, you know what, I'm raising gas prices. I'm going to start charging $1 a gallon for climate change. Okay, even then they're going to argue against it. Okay, they're going to argue against it because it makes Trump look bad. That is their principle. What makes Trump look bad? That is their principle. They don't care.
Exactly right. And it's politics as usual too, because I mean, the same people who want to have these quibbles over gas prices, they were in favor of sending billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine, billions in equipment and everything else that that Ukraine needed to fight their war against Russia, right? So it's like you're in favor of spending billions on that, but for this war, all of a sudden it's a problem, and gas prices were way higher under Biden than they've ever been under Trump. So yeah, they don't have a point. It's just TDS. That's all it is.
Yes, and I want to be very clear about something, because I don't care about Trump. Okay, I don't care about Trump. I care about America. That is what I care about. Okay. If Trump helps America, great. If he doesn't help America, then I don't want him. Okay.
Right.
This is my priority. This is what I care about. And we can have disagreements on policy. But if you don't care about America, I'm not interested in your fucking position. I'm not interested. That's not, if we agree that we care, and we agree that we want America to be a peaceful, prosperous place, and we want it to thrive, then yes, we should have vigorous debate about what policy should be. And I'm open to be, maybe I'm wrong about a lot of things. And I'm sure I'm wrong about a lot of things. Okay. I'm sure I'm wrong about a lot of stuff, but what I'm saying is this is what I care about. And when I'm listening to these people on this panel, I'm not convinced that they share my care. They share at least this. Can we share that this is what we want? Can we share that this is the goal? Okay. If we agree on that, that's the goal. If we agree that we want a peaceful, prosperous, strong America, then let's have the debate. But you have to convince me, because I'm totally unconvinced that you care.
And to your point, I mean, that's why, I'm MAGA, and why I am a Trump fangirl, because he is super pro-America. And again, that doesn't mean you aren't allowed to criticize him, because I have criticisms for Trump too. But Trump is extremely pro-America. And as long as that's the case, I'm going to continue supporting him, because I care about America first and foremost over any politician.
Yeah. And I will make a judgment on Trump, and I will make a judgment on any politician from any party. Okay, on whether or not I think what they're doing is good for America.
Right. Exactly.
All right. So, good segue to the next segment, which is about President Trump, but we got a lot of super chats. Guys, thank you so much for supporting us a lot today. Zigwan is saying male circumcision isn't even the same as female. Okay, so I 100% agree. We do have to add something to this, though. So female circumcision is by far, by a huge margin, more damaging per individual than male circumcision. It's important to add to that. Not even close. It is important, though, to add to that the numbers of victims of male circumcision is far more than female circumcision. So don't forget the boys, right? So it's true that every single baby girl that gets damaged by female circumcision is being damaged in a way that a boy is not, okay? But I don't want us to ignore the boys, because the number of boys that are being hurt by male circumcision is astronomically higher, and people don't pay enough attention to that. So boys and girls, we need to defend them both, even though I do agree female circumcision is so much far more damaging. Yes, go ahead.
I don't agree with calling it circumcision for females, because it actually is genital mutilation. I think that for boys, it's they still have a fully functioning sexual organ after circumcision.
It is still mutilation. Both of them are mutilation, because you're cutting off body parts. So, for example, if your baby, you cut off the tip of their finger, right? this finger,
Mhm.
right? If they as
Mhm.
they're born, right? Or if you cut off this part of their ear, right? They will grow up to be full functioning adults without any problem. If you cut off this part of their ear, but that's still mutilation. You're cutting off body parts, right? So technically, by definition, it's mutilation.
I disagree.
It's by definition of mutilation is mutilation. Cutting off body parts is mutilation. Right. Anyways, and thank you, Zipgun, and you're 100% correct, Zipgun. Yeah, Sid, you start this.
Did I? Let me see.
Yes.
Liberty policy. I'm a Palestinian. Remember me? So I don't. Maybe you do. Wasim. When
Oh,
are we going to
yes,
discuss
Wasim,
Islam
I do
again?
remember you. Wasim is an ex-Muslim Palestinian. You could come to our discussion group and talk to us over there. It's up to you when we start talking about stuff, because you guys determine the topics by joining our discussion groups and making it the topic. So you could join our discussion group. The link is in the description and in the QR code in the top left corner of your screen. And thank you for being here, Wasim. Stay safe.
Hope to see you, Wasim, in the group and talk to you. But we do enjoy talking about Islam as well. So a couple others that I wanted to share from Dr. Ellert said, this fixation on circumcision is weird, you guys. And then...
Well, no, but can I just respond to that? I think it's weird that we're cutting off body parts of babies as they're born, and we're not talking about it. That's what I find weird. Like the fact that babies are born and like we're just like cutting off parts of their body, and people are thinking that's normal. That is to me strange, But yeah, but we could stop talking about it.
All right. So just one more that I thought we should share. This is Javid Shah, Free Iran 2026. I don't consider myself a victim of male circumcision law. So I have to say that I also feel that way. Okay. So I mean, I didn't even know that this was controversial, because I never really thought like I'm a victim. It never even occurred to me. So I'm not saying, because I know that there are people who have a problem with it. Like Armin is not the only one. And I'm not really exposed to it. I never really investigated the arguments, but I'm happy to have the argument. But I would just say, honestly, from a personal standpoint, I never thought I was victimized by it. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
But that's irrelevant. If somebody is a victim, if they don't think they're a victim, it doesn't make them not the victim, right? And remember, maybe you as an adult, maybe not the victim, but when you were being tortured, because you as a baby felt the pain, because I don't know if you know this, but they don't use anesthetics when they're cutting it. So you're experiencing the full pain. Okay, so maybe you, because you don't remember it, you're not a victim, but the baby version of you that was being tortured, baby was the victim.
I don't know, because I was circumcised by a doctor. I was not part of a religious ceremony, so I don't know if there was anesthetics used.
Yeah, doesn't matter. No, it's not used. They don't use anesthetics.
Okay,
they don't use strong. They don't, because it's harmful to a baby. They use strong anesthetics.
Okay,
so you experience every single second. So you don't remember it, but there was a baby. There was a baby Sid.
Yes.
There was a baby Sid that was being tortured at some point. In fact, that's another reason where you should do it as an adult, because as an adult, you can be on full anesthetics, and as a baby, you can't, right? So just because you don't remember it, it doesn't mean that there wasn't a baby Sid at some point that was being tortured and experiencing the full pain.
Right? Two things.
Yeah. But I want to move on from this topic. Yeah, go on.
One, I love Javid Shah, Free Iran. I love that username and the profile picture. Love that. Two, I also did not know until last year that this circumcision debate was such a hot button issue. Yeah. But we can move on. I'm happy to move on from the talk of circumcision.
But you're not letting us move on. But I'm just going to address this. People are saying Armin is obsessed with this. LOL. I know it's funny to you guys because it's genitalia, but to me, it doesn't make any difference from what part of the body it is. If there was tradition to cut off this part of your ear or this part of your finger, I know you find it funny and you think this is weird that we're talking about genitalia, but that is your problem that you find genitalia funny. I think it's a body part, just like any other body part, that shouldn't be cut off without consent, without somebody being adult. This is the same reason why I'm against transgender stuff for children, because children, I mean, most of you don't find it funny when they do transgender stuff to children, even though it's about genitalia. Like if somebody like, oh my God, you guys, like when the trans rights movement comes and cuts off parts of people's bodies because without their consent as children, if somebody said like, oh my God, you're so obsessed with this, you find it ridiculous. You think this shouldn't be done to children, right? So I don't know. I don't find it. I don't understand why we have normalized cutting off body parts. But Lior agrees with me, and Lior is saying we can't. Can we just leave babies alone? They're yeah, just leave babies alone. If you want to cut off anything at any amount, just do it as an adult, right?
Look, it's just part of the Jewish tradition. That's all I know. So take it up with them. Take it up with the Jews. They've been doing this for 3,000 years.
Who learned it from the Jews?
Yeah, somebody's saying it's different, Armin. Yeah, I know it's different, but your argument against me, it doesn't make any sense, because then your argument would against me then would apply to that as well. If you're just making, if you think it's funny because it's about genitalia, well, that's also about genitalia, and I don't find it funny. Zip Gun with a super chat saying gas is lower than during COVID, lower than the start of the Ukraine war. Didn't hear these people complaining. Yeah, that's a good point. I agree. Thank you so much for the super chat. And then we got another super chat by Matt Brick saying, when Islamists reduce the core dogmas of Islam to mere cultural differences, they are shifting focus away from the violence in Islamic texts to side issues. We must remain vigilant against this manipulation. Yeah, so they're pretending. They're basically, this is why I'm against so-called Islamic reform, because it's only temporary until they have the upper hand, and then they show the true nature of Islam. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I agree. And George with the super chat saying nobody's talking about the total oil from Iran that is not making it out of the Persian Gulf. The deficit is largely from Iranian oil. Wait, nobody's talking. Yeah, we are talking about the deficit is largely from Iranian oil. I agree with the first part that's what we are talking about that here at least, but I don't understand the second part. Sid, do you understand?
Yeah,
this?
I understand. So I think what George Hansen is saying, which is a good point, is that like what Cooper was saying, right, was that Iran is exporting 0 barrels from the Persian Gulf. And I think what George is pointing out is that is a deficit, right? What the total available amount of oil would be. And that in itself could explain like what why prices are higher than they ought to be, which I think is true. I think that's without analyzing it, it makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay, thank you, George. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's get to here. Let me go down all over here. So President Trump. Let me see what the White House shared regarding Canada, Lake Ontario. So you guys know this happened, right?
Oh boy. Okay.
Changing the name of Lake Ontario, effective immediately, to Lake America. We lose on average over the last 15 years, $60 billion a year carrying Canada. So we just can't do it anymore. We love the people of Canada. I don't think their representatives do an appropriate job. Maybe they'll change. I really don't know. It doesn't make much difference. But we can't let the whole Canadian thing that's been going on for decades, and it has to come to a stop. So we're going to be doing tariffs on their cars that are coming in at a substantial level, because we want to make the cars here. We don't want if they can make their own cars if they want, and they can continue to make their cars for Canada, but we don't want them to make cars for the United States of America. It's very simple. Likewise, many other products. So the lake change, Lake of America, was something I've been thinking about for a long time, actually. As you know, we took something called the Gulf of Mexico, and we changed it, and now it's very routinely the Gulf of America. So if you think about it, we have a Gulf and we have a lake. Now all we need is an ocean. So maybe we'll have to Atlantic and
I have a suggestion.
I love this.
Maybe we could change the name of the universe to the United States of everything. How about that? That's the name change.
The American.
This is look,
the American
this
galaxy.
This is compensation for decades of Canada scamming us. This is our compensation. So I support this. I unironically support this. This is great.
I think Sid disagrees.
I hate this. I really hate it. Yeah, I mean, this is just not important to me. I'm totally fine with calling it Lake Ontario, and this is not this is not a defense of Mark Carney or Canadian policy at all. It's just, to me, that the name is it's just superficial. I mean, no, I wouldn't say that. I think that the existing name is meaningful, and just changing it, out of spite, it seems so misguided. So yeah, I mean, I'm not on board. I'm not on board.
I support this.
Okay, but why are you guys both big? I understand that one of you is against it and one of you is for it, but what are the arguments for and against it?
That I mean, for me, that it really is a simple argument. And it's the same point I made yesterday. Canada has been scamming us for decades and decades. They've been caught scamming us, and Trump is like, you know what? As compensation for you scamming us for so long, this lake, it's not Lake Ontario anymore. Now it's Lake America. That's our compensation.
Okay,
that's it.
let me be devil's advocate here. Okay, first of all,
sure.
How is that going to help America? That is, how's that going to win with the compensation, right? Americans are going to gain nothing out of that. Two, that actually helps unite Canadians against America towards more anti-American positions, right? So if there was any chance for a pro-American candidates to win in Canada, by doing this, it becomes more and more popular in Canada to be anti-American and support anti-American politicians, because by doing these name change, instead of making the fight between President Trump and whoever is in charge, like Mark Carney, whoever is in charge in Canada, by doing this, the war seems to be between American people and the Canadian people. You know what I mean? So against Canadians themselves instead of the Canadian government. And by doing that, you're helping the administration get more Canadians support the anti-American position.
Okay, so then my response would be, and the Canadians in the chat, you tell me if you agree with me or not on this point. I think that Trump is more popular in Canada than the media would like people to believe, right? And I don't think that Americans in Canada, yeah, I think that Canadians like Trump. Yes. Okay. If you're Canadian in the chat, tell me. That's number one. Wait, hang on.
So Elisa, wait. With this one, that is not a good way of measuring. Canadians in the chat are obviously. That's not a scientific poll. That's not
it's not. But I can't do a scientific poll right now. So I'm asking the people who are here. Okay.
I mean, I can look it up for you. Okay.
I disagree that this is a war between the American people and the Canadian people. I think that this is a war between governments, right? Between heads of state. That's how I see it. I don't think I'm alone in that either.
So, Elisa, do you think that by Trump changing the name, he is putting pressure on Canadians to tell their government, please, Mark Carney, negotiate with Trump and sort this out so we can get the name changed back to Lake Ontario?
I don't know. That's an interesting idea. I have to think about that.
Yeah, I'm incredibly skeptical. Like, to me, this just seems performative, and it seems really, really tangential to the issue. So there's a trade war, and there's competing policy interests here, and I get that, and I want Trump to to apply leverage. I absolutely want that. I just don't think this is the way to do it. This just seems incredibly petty and stupid and unrelated to the problem here. It's a perfectly fine name, Lake Ontario. Like it's just, I don't care if it's called Lake America. This is what I'm saying. Like Lisa, we're talking about before. Is calling it Lake America good for America? I don't think so. I just don't think it matters. I don't think it's that important, right? And so I don't get why this is a priority. I really don't. I'm totally baffled by this.
I think that it's very on brand for Trump being an entertainer and a showman and a master marketer. So so even if I grant you that it is performative, and I don't think that's an unfair criticism, I think that this plays into Trump continuing to be a showman and an entertainer. And while I think that there are legitimate criticisms as far as the way that he goes about things sometimes, I personally find some entertainment value in it. So,
but
yeah,
but are you
that's
looking
where I
for
look.
entertainment, or are you looking for policies that help America?
I don't think I have to choose between the two. I want both. Absolutely.
Well, right now, how does
I
this
think
help
of it as a
America?
selling point.
Okay, but how does this help? Because so I look at it, it seems like Canadians on average have a negative view on Trump.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So 64% of Canadians hold an unfavorable view of Trump, and 91% view Trump as arrogant.
Well, I mean, yeah, he is arrogant, but he's also extremely successful.
Yeah, but 64% are unfavorable.
Like I don't think that, like, if you are as successful as Trump is, then you kind of have a right to be arrogant, right? Because you can back it up. Like,
Yeah, but that's not
arrogant
the
is
topic.
automatically
We're
a no.
talking about. Yeah, but like I'm just telling you. I mean, the topic is so tell me exactly how this. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just want to understand it. Tell me exactly how this help like beyond the entertainment value. Okay, and honestly, Trump is a really good entertainer, and this is fun. And he's like a 10 on 10 on trolling, for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know Sid doesn't find this entertaining, but it's kind of funny, and I know it is funny, but I don't see how it's helpful.
No, I would say that I would be entertained if I thought that this was, also good policy. But I think that I do feel like we have to make a choice now, because I'm not convinced that this is helpful. Right. So, I mean, I like his trolling. I like a lot of his trolling. And I do find Trump extremely entertaining. But what I'm trying to figure out is this good for us or not? And I'm not really seeing it. Now, maybe I'll be proven wrong. Okay. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Carney will cave.
I'm open to it.
And it will just because of this. And they say, like whatever you do, Trump, I'll do whatever you want as long as you change it back to Lake Ontario. Then I'll be proven wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it might be good for America. I'm not seeing how, and I'm open to seeing how it's helpful. So,
and that matters to me. And that's the point
Yes.
I'm making. It matters to me because I want what's good for America, and I'm just not seeing this.
Yeah, Sarah is saying, I think Americans mostly love this idea. Okay, but that's not the question. We're trying to figure out how it's helpful to America. It's not about we're not asking, is this entertaining? Is this fun? Do you like this? Do you not like this? The question is, how is this helping America? And we're open to it helping America. So Elisa, how is this helping America?
So I think that time will tell, and you're probably not going to like that answer, but I think time will tell, number one. And then number two, I do think that there is something to the idea of this being a kind of not a tit for tat, but just kind of a retaliation. A retaliation for ripping off America, right? So I like the idea that this is in retaliation for Canada ripping off America, and I think that time will tell if it's effective or not. On a personal level, I like it. I like the trolling. I agree with the retaliation, and whether it becomes helpful or not, time will tell. That may not be the most satisfying answer, but that's the best that I can do for you right now.
I agree with you, and
the
I
reason,
would. Yeah, I would just
let me
say.
get something.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, you go. You go answer.
No, you go ahead. It's all right. I can wait.
No, the reason why it's not satisfying is because I don't understand. I like it, but time will tell. Because for me to like it now, I need to understand why it's helpful now. If time will tell, then I will like it when it tells me that this was helpful. I'm not going to prematurely like it. You know what I mean? So I think there is a gap.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Well,
no,
let
me finish my thought. Let me finish my thought, right? So because I think, because if we're being pro-America, right, for me to like it, it needs to benefit America. I need to see the benefit of it to America today. And if it has benefit for America, when it's demonstrating that this is benefiting America, then I will like it. But so I think if we say time will tell, but I'm liking it today, then we're prematurely liking it. But go on.
I disagree. I'm not prematurely liking it. I like it right now because I like the trolling. I like it when Trump, trolls people. I like that he's trolling Carney. So that's why I can like it now, because I enjoy the trolling. And then as far as whether this will have any effect on the trade negotiations, I don't know if it will have an effect. I don't know if it will be helpful. I personally don't need to. I don't need that piece of it in order for me to enjoy the trolling, which I like right now.
Okay, so but if we like it because we like the trolling without knowing this is going to benefit of America, aren't we putting our entertainment ahead of what's the interests of America? Like, isn't our priorities then misplaced because we're thinking more about our personal entertainment more than the benefits to our country?
For this issue in particular, I don't think that it is of the same significance as like the Iran war or reindustrialization, or anything. You know what I mean? It's like this is more of like a kind of a side issue. You know what I mean? So like I think it's okay to laugh and joke about it. It's not like people's lives are on the line with this issue.
I mean, okay, so obviously everything is okay to laugh and joke about. Like, we're not like, well, I mean, not everything. Like, but yeah, I mean, we can joke about it, right? Of course. But I'm saying people's lives are on the line because we're talking about trade. We're talking about trade, and United States. I want United States to win this, because I think United States winning is good for the world, and I think people's livelihood is on the line here. But let's get Sid in here as well.
Yeah, so I just want to say that, like, I just want to say, I agree with Elisa on the simple point that time will tell, and if I'm wrong, I will come here and I will admit that I was wrong, and I will thank Trump for doing it. Okay, so I promise you that. I promise you that.
So somebody in the chat is saying Armin is argumentative today. Isn't it good that we have this? Like, guys, let us know in the chat. Do you guys want us all to sit on this panel and be like, yes, you're right. No, you're right. No, Sid, you're right. Elisa, no, you're right. Armin, oh my God, you're right. Do you prefer that? Or do you
I don't see it as Armin being argumentative. I see it as Armin seeking to understand our positions. It's not; those are two different things.
Well, I would just add to that. I'm surprised he said today, because I've been following Armin for a long time, and Armin loves a good argument. I've never seen him not be argumentative. So that's a shocker to me.
Yes, okay, that's good.
That's a fair point.
Okay. Let's
also,
see
I
what
come
the chat.
from a family that we argue and shit talk all the time. Like, this is entertaining for me. Having these debates and these conversations in the back and forth. I'm used to this. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I also learn stuff from the disagreement. Okay, so
Yes.
I do not claim to know everything. On the contrary, I have there's a lot that I don't know about, and there's a lot that I can learn. And what we come here, we're watching clips, we're reacting to it. My thoughts are not always fully formed, so I'm just giving my take. and somebody has a different take, and it forces me to see some different ways of looking at it, which is extremely helpful. So that, I think that disagreement is very useful, and I hope people understand, like, I'm not researching all of this stuff ahead of time. I'm just giving my raw thoughts.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, absolutely.
which means that often I'm going to be wrong.
Yeah, and also, guys, the whole point of turning our shows into panels is that a lot of times when it was me talking, you guys were not being represented, right? So I have a view, and sometimes like, yes, Armin, that represents my view, and then sometimes I say another thing, and you're like, no, Armin, your channel does not represent my views, right? And now you will, now that we have panels instead of just me talking, you guys, when you come to Liberty Politics, even if you don't like what I'm saying, there's somebody in the panel that is representing exactly what you want to hear, right? And like, okay, Armin is full of crap and Elisa is correct, and she's saying exactly what I would have said to Armin right now. So good on Elisa. And now you feel like when you're coming and watching our shows, you feel less frustrated because there is somebody that is saying the things that you want to hear. So you feel represented on the panel to some extent, right? And if you don't feel represented at all, then join us and come on this panel, right? So go join our discussion group, and then you could come represent yourself.
Today is free. It's an open discussion group today, free to join.
Yes, link is in the description. Our group calls the link is in the description. It's in the QR code at the top left. So join us, right? Anyway, so Sean was saying Pierre had a chance to win until he attacked Trump, backfired on him. I don't see that's how it happened. Pierre was winning until Trump started attacking Canada, and then he forced Pierre's hand. Like, what is Pierre supposed to do? Support somebody who's attacking Canada? Think about it. You're running you wanting to be the Prime Minister of Canada, and then you want to support as a representative of Canada. How could you go ahead and support somebody who's attacking Canada? So I think Pierre's chances were already lost the moment President Trump turned against Canada, because more Canadians then started supporting. Because in fact, Pierre lost because he was seen as Trump of Canada. And President Trump admitted that. President Trump said that it's because of me that Pierre Poilievre lost. He admitted that, right? So it was the other way around. And as much as I think that, guys, I know a lot of people hate Pierre because he attacked Trump, but honestly, how could you, how do you think anybody that wants to be the Prime Minister of Canada, if they're silent against somebody who's attacking Canada, what do you expect? But go on, Sid.
Yeah. So I just want to say, some people in the chat think that I'm anti-Trump, and I just want to reiterate, I'm not anti-Trump. Okay. I'm not anti-Trump. I support Trump, but I want Trump to succeed. I want Trump to succeed because I love America. And I also have said many, many times, I think that the criticism that Trump gets is often disingenuous and it's often lies. And I've called that out many, many times, and I've defended him because of that many, many times. So I'll say that I still have criticisms of his, okay, but I am not. I hope that you understand. I am not reflexively anti-Trump. Now, on the case of Canada in particular, listen. My feeling is Canadians are proud of their country, and they have a right to be proud because Canada is an extremely successful and prosperous country. Now, I think that the last few administrations have been garbage. Okay, they've been bad for Canada, and they've been bad for the West in general. Okay, and they're extremely frustrating to me. What I saw of Poilievre, I liked. I really liked, and what I see of him today, I really like him. And I think that, so again, what I'm saying is I support Trump. I want him to succeed. I like a lot of what he does. We've talked about it before. I think he's a net positive. But in the case of Canada, I think that Trump could have gotten Canadians on side and chose instead, through undiplomatic language, to alienate Canadians, to alienate potential allies, and force Poilievre into a situation where he has to either show loyalty to Trump or to Canada. And he should never have to do that. Okay, we want a friendly regime in Canada. We want a cooperative regime in Canada, and we want Canada to succeed. I want that for Canada. I want Canada to continue to be a peaceful and prosperous place, and a peaceful and prosperous country. I want that. I love Canada. Okay, and I'm sure that Trump also loves Canada, and I don't think that Trump hates Canada, but I think that he made some very, very undiplomatic moves, and it hurts potential allies in Canada, and that is a frustration that I have with him. That I think that he's sometimes is just not diplomatic, and it hurts friends. It hurts people who love liberty overseas. We want those people to succeed.
Yeah. And also pushing Canada away helps China move in to the northern borders of the United States.
And this is exactly our position with regards to Iran. We hate the regime because we love the people, and it's very, very important that we keep talking about that. We want Iran to be a peaceful, prosperous, successful place. We want that. This is the reason why we talk about this, and the regime is terrible. And we have to continue to make that separation, because oftentimes people don't do that. They assume that the regime is representative of the people, and that when they do that, they undermine the people who are on our side, pro-liberty people. So that's the reason why. And I wish that Trump would be able to negotiate that, but he's more of a bull in a china shop, and there's a benefit to that too. I understand, so that's why I don't want to make it a blanket condemnation, but I just think on this point in particular, I think there's a better way to handle Canada. There's a better way to do it, and it's worth it as both for us and for Canada and for the West. Okay, I gave my piece.
I appreciate the way you articulated your point, Sid. Very, very well said.
Thank you.
No, look at you. I appreciate you, Elisa, because you deal with people who might not share your view so beautifully, and I appreciate you so much for that. Like, I wish more people handle disagreements the way you do. Like, I really admire that in you. I really do admire that.
I do too. That's a very special quality.
It's so important to have, like, that's been like the biggest gripe for me, like, as somebody who is right leaning. Like, in right wing circles, we always bitch about how the left doesn't care about diversity. Not really. They don't care about diversity of thought. I believe in diversity of thought. I want to hear different viewpoints, because that is how you learn. Like, that's how you get. You broaden your horizons. You gain new information. Like, I have an inquiring mind. At no point have I ever thought that, like, I know everything that there is to know. I've learned all I need. It's like when you stop learning, it's like you may as well just be dead at that point. What's even the point of continuing if you're not willing to learn and experience or hear out like a different point of view? Get outside your bubble.
Okay.
Do we have time? Okay, so if we
yes, you can. You address the comments that you start, and then we go through the super chats.
Okay. I just want to show a few comments here, a couple of comments. Sean Graham said, "I see what Sid said. I'm tired of playing nice with countries who screw us over." And then Pagan Lord says Sid neglects the fact that these are woke leaders, so sweet talks with them, they are like enemies. Okay, so I would just say I think that you both didn't really understand my critique. Okay, I do not believe in playing nice or kowtowing or with woke leaders. I don't believe that. What I'm doing is I'm separating the woke leaders from the people who are under them, who want freedom, who want liberty, who want prosperity. Those are our allies. And I think there's a way to talk to them. Trump is brilliant at this, by the way. Trump is brilliant at bypassing the media and talking directly to the people. Okay. And what I want him to do is also talk to the pro-liberty people in Canada and in Europe. I want him to talk like that, and I want him to give them the motivation, to give them the motivation so that they can take control of their countries, and that they can help to build a coalition of liberty and prosperity. That's what I want. I'm not asking for Trump to be diplomatic with the woke leaders. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm asking for Trump to consider the people who are not woke, who are pro-liberty and to talk to them and to give them motivation. That's it.
Yes. So yeah, go after the woke leaders and be very aggressive about it, but don't go after the whole country, so that the non-woke elements in that country, you give them a chance to rise up against the woke leaders, right? But by grouping the entire country, when you attack the woke leaders, you're reducing the chances of the anti-woke people there in those countries, because the whole country is going to say like, oh, they're not attacking the woke leaders, they're attacking all of us. So now we have to support the woke leaders, because it's not the woke leaders who are being attacked, the whole country is being attacked. But if you actually want to attack the woke leaders, you have to help the anti-woke elements within the country to rise up against the woke leaders for liberty. Yeah. Anyways, we have to go to the super chats. Okay. Zipgun is saying, does this hurt Polivier's chances? Yes, it does. Right? Because now you're going to be unpatriotic. And you're not supporting your country. If you support, because and a lot of people who support him also support Trump. And now what is he going to do? If he supports Canada against Trump, then a lot of Canadian Trump supporters are not going to like him. But if he supports Trump, then a lot of Canadians are like, what the hell? Our country's being attacked, and we're supporting the person who's attacking our country. So what is he going to do? Like, But yeah,
no Canadian leader who has aspirations, for the top position. No Canadian leader can say, I will choose Trump over Canada. Okay, that is political suicide. Trump, don't make them have to say that. Don't put them in that position. Right. Okay, they can be a pro-Canada leader and also be pro-America. It's possible to do that. We have a long history of very fruitful cooperation.
Yes. Somebody was saying it's called having fun. I'm all for having fun, but not at the expense of American and Canadian people's interests. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And then we have George with the super chat saying Superior is the only it's the only lake not Native American name. Trump is wrong. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you, George. I mean, to me, it's not about which one is native, which one is not. To me, it's about, does this help or does this hurt? I have a more consequentialist approach to all of this. But I see your point, George. Thank you so much for the super chat. That makes sense. Zipgun, thank you so much for the super chat saying Trump being on brand is important for support from his base. I don't think he would lose support from his base by not doing this. Like, I don't think like some Trump supporters are like, oh, I wish he renamed the lake to Lake America and I can't support him. I'm not going to support him as much anymore because he didn't rename that lake.
Yeah.
Right?
He let me down because he didn't rename it to Lake America. That's just not the case. Okay. We're not saying that he shouldn't be tough on Carney. No, in fact, I'm saying the opposite. He should be tough on Carney. He should be applying maximum pressure. I just think, to me, this seems like a distraction.
Yeah. By the way, maybe we're wrong, and we were like, maybe we're like,
I will come back and say that I'm wrong. If I'm wrong,
we will come and say like, oh my God, this worked beautifully.
Yeah,
and then you guys will come, and many of you guys are like, we told you so, we told you so. But I don't mind being wrong, right?
Yeah.
I think it doesn't mind being wrong.
I hope I'm wrong. I honestly, genuinely hope I'm wrong. I hope that this actually ends up working out in our favor.
Yeah.
Please let me be wrong.
Yes. And Koala Katie, thank you so much for the super chat saying, I grew up there. No one asked the locals. I think many will be angry. Both parties. This could hurt Blakeman in the governor race. New York needs Blakeman. Okay. I don't know. I haven't been following that. Sid, do you know anything about this?
No, I really don't. I mean, I guess I think I have to check what's happening in the governor's race. But Kathy Hochul is the governor. I think she's probably running for re-election. What Lee Zeldin, I think his name was I think he's the EPA director now, or he was previously the EPA director. He was a Republican candidate for during the last governor's race, and he came very close to winning. So it's possible that New York is up for grabs, and I don't think Kathy Hochul is particularly popular. So there may be an opportunity here, and if Koala Katie is right, this is not helpful to a potential change in party affiliation with regards to the governor's mansion in New York. So, but I will look into it. Thanks for pointing that out, Koala Katie.
That was
can't hear you.
The first time that's ever happened where we had that much dead air.
So that Sassy, no, I was speaking, but I forgot that my mic was on mute. Sassy think Trump will rename Canada Northern United States. I was actually laughing out loud. You guys didn't hear me laughing out loud. So, yes.
Do it.
Yeah, I think
do it.
Yes. Do it. Okay. All right. And then Sassy with another super chat saying the United States of America is the correct title, not America, which is a regional location title. Lake America is regionally correct. Canadians are crybabies. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can say that and you can laugh about that, but would that win Americans anything? I mean, there might be crybabies, but I don't see how is this. I mean, calling Canadian crybabies basically so you are like all Canadians, right? I mean, this is not. We could have fun with this.
Well, yeah.
Listen, this is all part. You got. This is the way that I see it. Okay, Canada and the United States are like siblings. All right. This is a part of the sibling banter. Canadians will always look down upon Americans for being so crude and brash and things of that nature. And America will always make fun of Canadians in along that same vein. So it's fun. That's how I see it.
But here's the thing, Elisa. Americans are nice. Okay. American is a wrong stereotype, okay, that people have. This is a view that people have about Americans, and it's so wrong. Americans are so nice. They're some of the nicest people on earth, right? And I just think calling all Canadians crybabies helps with that stereotype that is wrong about Americans, right? Because I think the attack should be on the woke leaders, not on Canadians. And calling Canadians crybabies is basically grouping all Canadians together with their woke leaders and making this America versus Canada rather than patriots versus wokeism. So I think the war should be patriots in America and patriots in Canada against their woke leaders. And I think what we're doing instead here is making this Americans versus Canadians.
Yeah.
And I don't see how that's helpful to make this Americans versus Canadians rather than patriots in both countries against their woke leaders.
Yeah.
So calling Canadians crybabies does the opposite of what we should be doing. But go on, Sid.
No, yes. I just wanted to go back to maybe the point that Koala Katie was making was missed. So Koala Katie is talking about also New Yorkers who live near Lake Ontario. They have an attachment to Lake Ontario, right? They also don't want to change it. Okay, so if this is not only about Canadians not liking it, there are also Americans who don't like it. And I think what Koala Katie is saying is that these Americans are generally pro-Trump Americans because the Democrats are very concentrated in the cities, not near the lake, right? So this is an example where it's very sloppy. Now, imagine if instead of Trump did this, he had a signing ceremony and says, "I'm renaming Mark Carney to Clown Carney," you know? Yeah, I think that would be fun. That would be really fun, and it would be, he would be trolling, and it was just as performative, right? Did he say, I'm now by presidential decree, I'm saying that when Mark Carney enters in the country next time, his visa will say Clown Carney, right? Or something like that, right? Or America Carney. I'm renaming him America Carney, and his visa will say America. If he wants to enter the country, his visa is going to have to say America Carney. Like, that would be much more effective. It would be still performative. It would be banter, right? It would be, and it would not be insulting to many Canadians and Americans who are attached to a place. It's a meaningful place to them, and this is the name that it's like, that they put on. Anyway, again, I could be wrong, but I'm just giving a suggestion to hopefully Trump or somebody's listening.
Okay, chat. I need somebody from chat to clip that, renaming Carney to Clown Carney, so we can post that and repost that everywhere. I need somebody from the White House to see this so that Trump will actually do it. I want that in addition to Lake America. I want Lake America, and I want the Clown Carney passport. Let's make that happen.
So just a hat tip, because I got Clown Carney. I didn't come up with that. Okay, I got it from Tusi. So it's a great one. It's a great.
Let me just say something that is also not helpful, right? Saying Canadians are crybabies. Look at what we're calling crybabies. Being defensive about things that are associated with your country. So we're calling patriot. That's patriotism. That's what we actually celebrate. Like, if we see Americans get upset over somebody attacking things that are considered to be Americans, symbols of America, like if then we call like, oh, Americans are being crybabies, then we are basically calling something patriotic. Like, if people get defensive against about their national symbols being targeted and attacked, if we call that them being crybabies, then we are describing patriotism as being a crybaby, and we wouldn't accept that with American symbols being attacked in such a way. If Americans responded to that, if somebody calls that being a crybaby, we didn't accept that. We're like, no, they're being patriotic. We would celebrate that as patriotism. Yes.
Yeah, and I would say, if it's done in a humorous way, then it's fun. I'm good with that. If we're good, I'm good with banter. I'm good with sort of back and forth, friendly rivalries and so on, and busting on each other. I love that. Okay, so I think that this to me doesn't meet that standard. It seems much more petty. And I think I don't think it's politically useful. But I might be wrong, and I will admit it.
Like, somebody is saying,
the chat agrees with all three of us at the same time.
Somebody saying, Info Warrior saying, it's Lake America, cry harder. I mean, nothing is being lost of me. Like, I'm not losing anything. I'm saying this in defense of what's in the interest of America.
Yes.
So I don't know why you think I would be crying. I'm not. My personal life is going to be not impacted by this at all. So I know you're getting butthurt over what I'm saying, and you're projecting, and you want me to cry, but this doesn't affect me. All right. So Javisha is saying, I loved. Yes.
Sorry, I wanted to draw attention to the Gen Z Muslim 5 troll. If you have time for it.
But Sid, you could start it if you wanted to, but I'm gonna go through you start this one, Sid?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah,
maybe I did.
So Javish is saying, I love these streams, but can you occasionally do Piers Morgan rants again? I mean, yeah, but we could, like, if he does something interesting, we could include it in our list, and I'll do a rant here in our panel. And thank you, Javid. Thank you, Javid, for being interested in my content. George with a super chat saying, international boundary, what?
Bisects the lake. The north half is Canada's.
The north half is Canada to call what they wish. Yeah, I mean, guys, you're I think you're missing the point, because it's not about what the name is, okay? It's about the fact that this act is seen as an attempt to attack Canada as a whole, as a country, whether it's not or it is not. It's demonstrated. It's obviously demonstrated as the intention And I think you need to think about the consequences rather, like, because a lot of you, I think, might be missing the point, because you're looking at it from a principles perspective, whether this is right, whether he has a right to do this, whether he doesn't have the right to do this, whether this is the correct name or whether is that the correct name. And I think this is not the right way to calculate things. The right way to calculate things is what are the consequences, right? What are the consequences? And President Trump obviously signed this as a way to demonstrate an attack on Canada as a country rather than the Carney as a prime minister. That was the intention. And that's how it's being perceived. Okay. And the way because that's how it's being perceived, the consequences are going to be what we said they're going to be, potentially, All right. Sassy saying, what is this? China, a mocking title given to Canada because they sold out to communist China. Yeah, and I don't know how that. Yeah, again, this is attacking Canada instead of Mark Carney. Mark Carney is selling out to Canada, and by grouping Canada, I mean, I don't know how this helps with that, right? I don't know how he helps. This is going to make them sell even more to communist China. But Sid, do you want to respond to this?
Well, I think so. Yeah, I mean, if Trump says that he's going to name Canada China, I think that's really bad. But if Sassafras is going to say it to the chat, then I'm all for it. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh,
So
wait,
to
who
me-
to
Go ahead.
calling Canada China? Okay, that makes some sense.
Yeah,
Again, that's funny. I think that's funny.
it is funny.
But it is funny, yeah. Go on.
For me, I take this all at surface level. This is trolling. This is banter between friends and or whatever, strangers, peers, whatever. I enjoy the trolling. I enjoy the banter. I don't think about it too deeply. Yeah, like this, and also it's like this whole like America versus Canada, like all the making fun of each other. This has been going on for so long. Like I'm numb to it. So Armin, it's actually interesting to get like your perspective on the Canada America banter, because I'm so accustomed to it
this is not about our feelings, though, Elisa. I think you're missing the point. This is not about how does this make Elisa feel, how does this make Armin feel, right? I think like to be patriotic, we have to be like, how does this affect America? Like this is the wrong judgment. Like I'm hearing this and it's making me feel that. Okay, like, oh, I'm listening to this and it's funny. I'm listening to this and I'm immune to this. It doesn't bother me. Well, okay, yeah, but how is that relevant? Like, how is the initial feeling that we get from hearing this? Like, to be patriotic, I think you're like, the question is like, oh, how is this going to affect my country? That's the question, not whether I can tolerate this, because this doesn't bother me, right? Like, I don't like, this doesn't affect me. It doesn't bother me. It's actually kind of funny. It's interesting. It's like, it's fun to watch, right? It's trolling. So it's like as a hot topic to talk about. Right. So, yeah, I mean, from an entertainment perspective, I get it. But again, that's not what the question is. And again, here's missing the point again in the next super chat. Sassy is saying,
Armin, that framing was helpful for me. That's very helpful. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Sassy is saying, reread the Monroe Doctrine. It's about the Americas. Yes, they are crybabies in Canada, except Alberta. Fix that for you, Armin. LOL. Well, let me actually fix that. Let me fix that for you. There are pro-Trump supporters in British Columbia. There are pro-Trump supporters in Alberta. They're anti-Trump. There are many people who are anti-Trump in Alberta, right? So I know, like, Trump has a base of support in Vancouver, for example, right? And you just called all of them crybabies, right? And I think this is projection. I think many people can't handle that this is an obvious wrong position, and they are crying about it, and they're offended that this is being called the wrong policy, and they're projecting of other people. Like, so you have an objective analysis of why this is wrong, and instead of having an objective reaction to why this is correct, you're getting offended by it, and you are crying about it, and you are projecting your reaction to other people's reaction. Like, you see an analysis about, like, people, like, you see people analyzing instead of like being offended and crying about it. They're saying, like, for this reason and this reason and this reason, this might be against American interests. And then you see that and then you describe that, oh, like, oh, keep crying, oh, you're so offended. And that's because that's your feeling towards what you're hearing, right? That's your feeling towards somebody criticizing President Trump, right? And you're being offended about it, and like, oh, because I'm offended about it, and because I'm crying about this, that's probably what they're doing. And you're not noticing that the other side is actually just giving you an analysis of what they think, right? But again, you're generalizing all of Canada, and Trump had a base of support, a huge base of support in British Columbia. But you're just basically categorizing them all as crybabies and attacking Canada as a country rather than the leaders that are woke. And then Koala Katie, they're saying China Carney. Yeah, that's more helpful, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like that one.
Instead of Canada, yes. And then Sassy is saying most citizens of America ignore New Yorkers once. They voted for their crazy lady governor. Is that her name?
Yeah, Hochul. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but the thing is that what I was trying to say, Sassy Frass, is that the Democratic votes are very concentrated in urban areas, especially in and around New York City, Westchester area, right? So, I lived in New York City for most of my life. Okay. And I barely ever got out to Lake Ontario. It's just so remote from me there. Okay. So what I'm trying to say here, what Koala Katie was saying, who I believe she's saying that she lives near there. She lives near the lake. That those New Yorkers who are overwhelmingly not Democrats are also bothered by the name change.
It's interesting that the people who say like, oh, you're being so emotional and offended, they also get so emotional when somebody attacks Trump, right? Yeah. So they get so emotional when they see somebody attacking Trump, right? And then they defending Trump, they see that as patriotic, right? But the other side is being emotional and a crybaby. But they are being patriotic when they're defending Trump, but the other side is being a crybaby and emotional when they're defending what they consider to be patriotic for their country.
Yeah, so I would just say, like, I haven't shed a tear, okay? Not a single tear, okay? So now the question is, can you, I don't like it, okay? I don't like this name change. Can you handle it? Can you handle it? That's what I'm asking. I'm not crying at all, okay? So just to be clear.
Also, by the way, to be consistent, I don't think like New Yorkers should be ignored either. Like, I think Sassy is a walking generalization fallacy, right? So Sassy consistently generalizes groups of people and just judges them collectively. So he did that with the Canadians, and now he's doing that with New Yorkers, right? And so see, this is not just about Canada. There are people in New York that don't like that governor, right? So, or people in New York City, people are like, oh, fuck the people in New York City. They voted for Mamdani. Like, but what about the ones who didn't? You know, what about the ones who are like concerned about this? Like, oh, you want to like throw all of them under the bus and just group them all as a collective? Like, what are the ones like? Don't you want to support the people in New York who are trying to fight back against Mamdani? So you see some people in a certain area have a position that you don't like, and you just like, oh, screw all of them. It doesn't make any sense.
Indeed. You have to think about, just understand, if you stretch your logic to its extremes, what you're saying here. Okay. We should have given up on Iran a long time ago based on your logic. Why do we even give a fuck about Iran? If based on your logic, okay? I mean, New York City voted for Mamdani. It's very, very different, right? Even Mamdani, and I can't stand Mamdani. Okay, it's not the same thing as Khomeini. So let's not give up. Let's not give up. But the issue is that we have people around the world who share our values and who share our interests. And what we have to figure out is, how do we help them? How do we help them? How do we help each other?
Yes. So you start Javid?
Yeah, I did start Javid. I think
okay.
Had a relevant question.
Why is okay? So Alistair. Oh, by the way, guys, Alistair is going to be joining our panels soon. Do you want to read this one?
Hey, let's go.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward. Hey, go ahead, Lisa. You can read it
Me?
if you want.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it.
Oh, sure. Alistair, thank you for the 5. Not New Yorker here. It's NYC that's deep blue. The rest of New York is purple, if not red, and we hate Hochul.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
There you go. There you go. See, Sassy? Proven that your generalization fallacy was proven wrong right here.
And I'm very much looking forward to Alistair joining the panels. I really, really enjoy his perspective. And he's a young guy, and it's a very bright young guy, and it's great to hear from people that age too, you know, who are deep thinkers. So looking forward to that.
You had to, yeah, go on.
I'm sorry. I just keep on getting distracted by this Gen Z Muslim 5 person.
Wait, did you start it? Yeah. What is he saying?
I don't know how to star comments, or if I have the ability to star.
No, I'll start them. Do you want to highlight this? Do you want me to just highlight this last one?
Well, yeah, he just mentioned me by name, so I mean.
Okay.
So Gen Z Muslim 5 says, Elisa, anyone who supports a free Iran just wants to see women naked and dressing in immoral clothes. This is how nudity gets into society. This is why burqa should be mandatory everywhere. So I have to ask, which third world shithole country are you from right now? You must be Pakistani, right? Like, like it's so ridiculous that it really doesn't deserve a response. But you did mention me by name, and I did find it funny. So there you go. You wanted to be the main character for like 2 minutes. There you go. You're welcome.
Okay, I don't know. I mean, I'm tempted to, you know, give a serious response, but I don't think it's worth it. So I'll just pass.
I don't even know how you do give us a.
He's been begging for attention this whole stream.
All right. So no, I mean, I think that okay, look, I think there's some strain in this. There's a critique, especially on the right, on the sort of let's say post-liberal right, that Western society has become too pornified. And I think that there's some truth to that. Now, how do we address it? Like, I still, believe in liberalism. And so, but I think that, like, we have to sort of evaluate, like, is this good for us? So one of the challenges that we're having, and it's not necessarily because of porn, okay, but it may be a contributor. One of the challenges that we're having is that young people are not dating, they're not having sex, they're not forming families. Okay, and this is a challenge. What I see actually in Israel, Israel is a liberal society, but they managed to do this. I mean, they managed to have family formation. So there's something that is, there's something in the West. It's a challenge that we have to figure out. Okay, so right. Just that part. Now, I don't believe, okay, that this is about seeing women naked. There are plenty of women to see naked. Okay, it has nothing to do with free Iran. All right, we don't need that. If you want to see naked women, you can do that. You don't have to free Iran in order to do that.
It's very easy.
Yeah, tons. Okay, so that is a abundant resource. The Gen Z Muslim 5, that is an abundant resource that has nothing to do with our interest in freeing Iran. Absolutely nothing to do with it.
I think what I found interesting about this comment, right, is how he jumped past the human rights abuses, right, the executions, the unjustified, murders, the food shortages, the running out of energy, like all these serious issues. He just skipped right past all of that and jumped straight to nudity. So I think that gives us a clue as to where this person's sort of mindset is at. And dude, all I gotta say is VPNs exist and porn is free. If you want to see naked people that bad, have at it.
Listen,
ahead.
Listen, the Gen Z Muslim 5. Here's what you have to do. Okay, you're wasting your time here with us. You're wasting your time here with us. What you really need to do is you need to create a Muslim alternative to YouTube. Okay, and there you can show your values. You can project your values. Because I mean, this platform, like even Elisa showing her hair, okay, even that is a violation of your principles.
I'm showing a little shoulder too. We're getting really risque now.
And so many people, this platform is full of that. Okay, this platform is. I mean, I can't even think like how haram is this platform, and yet you're here on it. Okay, you need to. And where is it? Where is it? There should be a Muslim alternative to YouTube. Okay, I'm sure that it's plenty of jihadis are going to jump on board. They can't wait, but you haven't done it. So this is your homework. This is your homework. Okay, and think about how much you can monetize that. You monetize your halal content.
I do find it confusing that there's 2 men here and 1 woman, and he accuses the woman of wanting to see naked women. That's a weird line. I don't understand that.
I didn't even catch that.
Yes, it's Elisa that wants to see more naked women. Okay,
right.
That's
right. Desperately, even though I am a woman and I have a full-length mirror, I can see a naked woman anytime I want to.
Okay. All right. So wait, Sid, you started a comment. You wanted to respond to Sarayu?
Yes, I did. Let me show it here. Maybe someday Sid has a minute to explain why they paint lines on the streets in NYC. So basically, I think what Sarayu is saying is that when people drive in New York City, the lines mean nothing. And actually, like I don't drive that much. I didn't have a car, when I lived in New York, and I still don't. But I did drive occasionally. And I will say one of the first things that I learned about driving in New York City is drive on top of the lines. Okay, so because you need to have options, and the best way to have options when you're driving in New York City is to drive on top of the lines, not between them. So just wanted to point that out. She makes a good. She makes a good point.
All right. I think you don't want to get into that topic for too much, but let's go here. This is Abdul Al Sayed with a new video. Let me see what he says here. You guys could respond to
the gentleman in the front, clearly Arab. I bought my Gatorade Zero. I go to pay for it. He's like, "Hey, you Muslim?" I was like, "You know I'm Muslim." And he's like, "Well, your beard's a little bit short." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I forgot something." So I go back to the back. I pick up a fifth of vodka, and I bring it to the front. And he's like, "You can't buy that." I was like, "Habibi, you can't sell it." For too long, a lot of folks have come into these communities and thought of these communities as places where they can sell products that either should not be sold at the level that it's sold, or product that they would never consume themselves, take money out of the community and feel like there's no responsibility to invest back in the community. And you need to understand why you can even be here. Because of the advocacy of Black communities in the first place that passed the Immigration Rights Act.
So I don't know if I think this. Yeah. So
yeah, he lost me. He lost me there. Well.
Yeah. So let me see. This guy, the Dr. Malouf, is saying, "Wow, I thought this video was AI, but Abdul Al Sayed is actually calling for a ban on alcohol due to his Islamic faith." That's not what happened. Saying he even attacks Muslims who sell alcohol for taking money out of the community. It's obvious Abdul is extremely radical. Okay, so that's not what happened. He was telling a Muslim that you can't sell it because you're a Muslim and you're selling alcohol, and you can't do it because you're a Muslim. That was the point. But anyways, so the caption is not correct.
Yeah. Just say, so Dr. Malouf is, I believe, a Lebanese American, and a great follow on Twitter.
Yes.
And
he follows me.
Yeah.
He follows me.
Yeah. So yeah, he's a great follow, and I would say that he's definitely on our side
Yes.
So yeah. But having said that, yeah, I think that the way that he interpreted this video is a little bit different than the way I didn't hear him saying what Dr. Malouf was saying. So there's some confusion.
Yeah, but that's a longer term goal. They're not going to be so. They're not going to. That's not what we're going to say right now. That comes later. You know, wanting to enforce Sharia law. They're not going to be so transparent about it. Anyway, so that's not what I thought it was going to be. So let's go to this one.
What do the Indians who got removed from the land and the black people at Tulsa and Black Wall Street and Al Sayed and the Muslims, what do all these people have in common? Nothing. They got nothing in common. Indigenous Indians, black enslaved people who were freed, Muslim immigrants that came here much later. What do these people have in common? Nothing. Nothing. Indians were pushed onto reservations and they have their own sovereignty and they have all their own problems, but they also have privileges and sovereignty in their own space. Black people were victims of racism and slavery, but they also then became the beneficiaries of affirmative action and government programs. They did their fair share of crime and race riots also. And then Muslims came here as refugees from wars. Many of them are going to college and some of them are excelling as doctors and other things. They're three very different stories. But what all these chapters have in common, the Trail of Tears in the 1830s, the race, anti-black race riots 100 years ago, and the anti-Muslim Islamophobia now, what they all have in common, it's oppositional. What they all have in common is they all have an axe to grind against white people.
See, this is where he lost it. White people. I wanted to show this because we have been showing some clips from Nick Fuentes that some people might think like, okay, you know what? He doesn't have some bad takes. Just wanted to show you this so that you could remember that what this man is fighting for, right? What this man is fighting for. Like,
don't you understand? That's their gripe. America was founded by, settled by, built by white people. White people enjoy social, economic, political preeminence and primacy over everybody. And as such, you have all these other people here, racial aliens, that become these marginal outsiders. They're alienated from America. They don't identify with it. Al Sayed does not identify.
Okay, hang on. So here's the problem, right? Because I was actually agreeing with him all the way up until he started with the, white people, right? So here's my thing. This is what I think. I don't think that black people and Native Americans and what have you, the so-called opposition between those people groups and white people as a group, I believe that a lot of it is manufactured. Not all of it, but a lot of it. The majority of that opposition is manufactured. It is manufactured by political operations, by intelligence operations, right? I find that Black people, especially working class Black people and working class white people and Native Americans, we have a whole lot more in common, and the things that we have in common, like the fact that we have all been fleeced by the elites and by politicians for so long, and we're sick and tired of being taken advantage of. And Trump is doing what he can to correct some of that. I think that that's something that we can all rally around. And I think that even if I entertain this argument that is being presented by white supremacists, right? Let's say I entertain that argument that it's like, okay, out of pure self-interest, I am only going to advocate for myself and people who look like me. Let's say I grant you that. Okay, here's the problem. You don't have the numbers. Even if you truly feel that way, that white people are better, that white people are the foundation of like all of civilization throughout human history. Even if you really feel that way, you don't have the numbers. You're not going to get enough support to take your country back, to take it back for white people, right? So you need allies. You need more people on your side. So so to go out of your way to wall yourself off from people who don't look like you in pursuit of, you know, your ideology, I think it's incredibly short-sighted, and it's a losing proposition, and it completely ignores the fact that people can and have throughout all countless years unite around ideology, around a shared sense of whether it's religious ideology or a civic identity, right? It's like we can all, people who look differently, we can all rally around a shared love of civic unity and patriotism and all of those good things. That's a much more winning message than just advocating for pure self-interested racial supremacy. It's just a losing proposition. Even if you truly believe that, it is a losing proposition. You will lose. Period.
Oh, guys, we have limited time. So Sid, if you should, do you want to say something, or should I play the rest before?
Well, I do want to say something, but maybe you should play the rest.
Let me play the rest, and then you add your point, because we're doing.
He doesn't identify with Christopher Columbus. He can't. Want to know why? Because those people were white. They were white Christians, and they were defenders of Christendom. And his ancestors were at war with Christendom. His ancestors, the Barbary pirates, were at war with America. His ancestors, the Ottomans, the Umayyad and Abbasid caliphates, were at war with Westerners. It not only does he not identify with whites, he's alienated from whites. He's alienated from our founders, from their Western antecedents over the centuries and millennia. That's his problem. And so what the Democrat Party is about, what the left is about, is uniting all the disparate, marginalized groups, the Mexicans, the Indians, the blacks, the Muslims, all the different groups, the women on some level, against the white men. It's a politics of grievance. And he's telling on himself. He's telling us exactly what he's about. He says the only reason people don't want Sharia law in Oklahoma is because they're white supremacists. No, it's because we have our own tradition. We have our own legal tradition that goes back to the Greeks and the Romans and the Magna Carta. We have our own legal tradition that has nothing to do with your prophet and your book. And has nothing to do with white supremacy. That's what this country is. That's who founded it.
I don't understand why he's shying away from white supremacy. Like he's obviously was advocating for it throughout this video. Why is he being shy about it at the end? I don't understand. But Sid, what do you want to say?
Okay, so look, I agree a lot with what Elisa said, but I think that what there is an element of Nick Fuentes' grievances that I do have some sympathy, and I just want to clarify because it's not necessarily obvious. Okay, so here's what I see, right? Like, I am a civic nationalist, and I remind people. So you know, and that's in distinction to what I think Fuentes is, which is an ethno-nationalist. Okay, so we're both nationalists, but there is a difference about how we define nation. Okay, now I want to be clear that I don't have the option to be an ethno-nationalist because I don't really have an ethnicity, and even if I did, there's just not enough of us, right? And I'm American. I consider myself American, so that is my sort of national identity. But this nation is complicated because in many cases, other nations, right? There is a bond of kinship that I don't have. So that really forced me. Like I don't have the choice to be, you know, a Fuentes style nationalist. Okay, so the reason why I'm setting that up is because I'm going to criticize him, but my criticism comes from a necessity to criticize him in order for me to belong. So you can take that with a grain of salt. Okay. Now so what Elisa was saying, and what I totally endorse, right, is that that racial or ethnic division is something that is I don't think it's necessary. I think that we can, and this has been my experience throughout my life. Okay, again, I don't share ethnicity with anyone except for my sister, with nobody. Okay, because I'm mixed and I didn't really grow up in a community, so I had to. I had to make friends with the people around me, and those people around me were different. There were different ethnicities, and there was no problem. There was no problem. So I know that it's possible. I know that it's possible. Okay. So, and I think that, and what I see actually politically, we're seeing this sort of racial depolarization that's happening, which I think is great. I see that, I see that there's increasingly people are orienting not around race, but around other interests. Okay. And this is great. And this is a very positive thing for America. Now, the one thing that I will say that does really bother me, that I think also bothers Nick, okay, is that for some reason, people are allowed to shit on white people, okay, in a way that they're not allowed to shit on other people somehow. And even the civic nationalists somehow defended, and not defended, but they don't address it head on. They don't say, no, you cannot shit on white people. It's not their fault that they're white. And if we're going to racialize it, then we have to recognize that white people have done amazing things. If you're going to racialize it, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. When I look at the history, like he said, the founders, people are alienated from the founders. I am not alienated from the founders. I am an inheritor of their wisdom. Okay. And including the Romans and the Greeks, and the Jews and the Christians that have, that given us the Bible and given us so much of the Western tradition. Okay. This is not my identity based on ancestry. This is my identity based on culture. Okay. I am not ancestrally Anglo-Saxon and Western. I am culturally Anglo-Saxon and Western. Now, that's okay. I can love Shakespeare. I can love Dante. Okay. I can love Homer, all of those. I'm allowed to do that. Okay. And I'm allowed to love the founders, and I'm allowed to respect their wisdom. I am allowed to do that. And because America allows me to do that, America allows me to be a citizen and to do that. And that's a generosity of America. And if we want to go down to it, it's a generosity of white people. I don't want to do that, but I'm just saying it's fucking true. It's fucking true. And what is unacceptable is to say that the only people you're allowed to shit on is white people. No, that should be out of bounds too. That should be absolutely out of bounds. Just as much. We should be just as offended by shitting on white people as we're offended as shitting on any other kind of people. That's what's wrong. Okay. Now, Nick is right to have that grievance. His conclusions and his policy prescriptions are wrong, but he's right to have that grievance, because I'm just as offended by that. I'm honestly just as offended by that. Okay.
I heartily agree.
Yeah.
Heartily agree.
Oh, let him finish. It was
no, I'm done. I'm done. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Don't interrupt a good rant.
I didn't mean to. It sounded like you were at the end of the rant, but it was a really great rant. This is a really important point. I'm really glad you brought that up, Sid, because this is what bothers me too. Because for the first time in my entire life, I have actually felt sympathy for people who have this ideology of being a white supremacist. I have sympathy for them because white men, straight white men specifically, have been shat on for decades now, and it's not fair. It is very unfair to them. And when you spend decades and decades shitting on straight white men consistently, yet obviously you are going to generate resentment there, and they are going to lash out, and you are going to have this reactionary movement. So I understand that, especially when those straight white men can pull up articles for every day of the year where there is a person of color raping, murdering, torturing a white woman, white babies, whoever, and not getting their due punishment for it. So they do have a point. But yes, like their conclusions are incorrect, but they do have a point. and that deserves acknowledgement.
Guys, we have to wrap it up. Sorry, guys.
I could talk about this a lot. I'm sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to start these comments. Somebody is Stuart is saying, Armin, the hardest working man in media. I just wanted to highlight that because somebody appreciating that I'm streaming 10 hours a day. So thank you so much.
Can I just say that is objectively true?
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Sid. Amir is saying was warning me about the time, and I just wanted to always appreciate Amir for giving me heads up and doing stuff like that. The Jinzi Muslim was attacking Alyssa again, which is weird to me because there's two men sitting here, and I don't want to highlight it, but I just wanted to highlight the fact that how these Muslims are obsessed with women, because Alyssa just joined our panel, like she's new here, and we've been here for a while, but as soon as I always see this obsession with attacking women by these young Muslims. It's just weird, right? And then Lior is saying, who else is enjoying these Sid rants? Me, I'm enjoying them as well. People loving it.
Based Sid rants.
Yes, Salt Queen has been appreciating you a lot today. So Sid, just wanted to highlight that. And then Kevin was saying, preach it, Sid. Yes. Yes. Okay, guys. So let me just, by the way, Alyssa, Sid, you guys are awesome. Like, honestly, thank you so much for being here. Guys, see, like our team, we have the best team here. We have the best politics team. And we're only getting started. So if you want to see more of that, make sure you subscribe to our channels. The links to all the channels are in the description. Liberty Politics, Alyssa's channel there. Sid's channel will be added soon. Make sure you like and subscribe to the stream wherever you're watching. Liking it really helps us grow. And also don't forget that our discussion today is, oh my God, we're already over 3 hours. The discussion today is open to everybody. The link is in the description. So we have group calls every single day. I will be there. Sid will be there. Alyssa will be there. So, and it's open and free to everybody to join. The link is in the description. The link is in the QR code at the top left. And even if you don't join the discussion, remember it's starting. The group call is starting in 1 hour from now. 1 hour. So, and even if you don't join, you could on Liberty Politics YouTube channel, make sure you're subscribed there because we're going to be live streaming it over there. So you get to watch it live on Liberty Politics. So just make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell notification so you don't miss our upcoming group call. All right, guys, we'll see you guys in 1 hour. And until then, I'm Israel Chai, Slava Ukrainie, Cuba Libre, Taiwan GIO, Long Live America, Javid Shah, Payende, Iran. Mwah. See you guys soon.